Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and my lowlifes. I am honorary brand member, the real Ryan Lowe, Mr. Indie Wrestling himself. And I'm watching the Reigning Rock podcast. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. And for those brave enough, stand with the brand.
And that is right. Sorry, we are running late, guys. Almost half an hour late. Sorry about that. I'm, of course, here with my brand new t-shirt. So do as it says and acknowledge me. Because I am the golden one. I am Ricky Coleman. This is the Reigning Rock podcast. So get liking and subscribing, get your comments in. You just heard from our guest that will be joining us later on, UK wrestler, Mr. Indie himself, Ryan Lowe. But right now I'm going to bring in my co-host. Give me a second here. He is the Irish Ace himself. He is Ian. I'm guessing he's not letting you add yourself, so I'll do it. Oh, and we've got a blank screen here. So I think he turned into John Cena. This is a great start. Ian, are you there? What's going on? There seems to be technical problems again. We had a lot of technical problems last week. So I presume he's going to sign back in here. But so we were live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on X, Twitter, call it what you like. Like I say, get liking, subscribing, get the word out, share this, get your comments in. I did put this out on TikTok. It got a lot of views on there. So I hope people are watching. Like I said, sorry that we are running late, and I don't know if Ian's joining me or not here. But I'll crack on with the first segment here as I wait for Ian to join back. And the first segment is one second. That is right. What's cooking at the table? So it's just going to be really a chat. And Ian's gone now. Not sure really what's happening here. Actually, technical problems. Sorry about this, but give me a second. So another extra second here. So yeah, what's cooking at the table? This is just a bit, just a chat really. This would have been a back and forth chat, but Ian seems to have gone. So chat what we've been up to. So I've been so I go to a craft class, craft session, you could call it. It's called Craft Noons every Thursday. And initially it was kind of set up just for people that don't go out to get out of the house, just for them to chat. And you don't have to make something every week. You don't have to design something every week. Some people go just to colour in. But I usually make something, and it's something to do with wrestling. And this last week it was. If you see that, guys, but it's a candle with the Rock name carved in, and then on the other side, the Brahma Bull carved in. I'm sure you see that because of the light. But yeah, but I made that. And then I've been to the gym. Go to the gym if I can make it 4 times a week. So I've done that. And went to my first wrestling show of the year, which I'm going to get into shortly here. But I'm not sure if Ian is coming back or not. Not sure what's happening here. His Wi-Fi seems to be the worst, really. I don't know if he's logging on. I don't know what's happening here. But if I have to go solo, I've got to go solo. If I'm going to go solo, this is going to be a fairly quick episode. Like I say, get the word out, like and subscribe, do all of that. So the next segment here is going to be this. So it's going to be movie talk. So this is just what movies me and Ian, if Ian comes back, have seen. So I usually watch 3 movies a week. Usually on a Monday, on a Wednesday, and then if I'm not going to a wrestling show, I'll watch on a And Ian, your camera's off. I don't know what's going on. It's not lit. Right.
Apologies there. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties at home.
Your golden chief is unhappy with you. Anyway, you missed the first segment, which was what's cooking at the table. Basically, what we've been up to. I've already told the people what I've been up to. So since last week, what have you been up to?
Well, last week I saw Rebel Moon for the first time.
That's movie talk. What have you been up to? Do you go to the? I know you do karate. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I went back to be karate this week. I went back to the karate, and nothing else really going on at the moment. It's just keeping myself busy, you know.
Okay? Are you yellow belts? I don't know. I think no.
What?
Yellow belt, aren't you? What?
Yeah, I'm a yellow belt. Yes, I'm a yellow belt. Yellow belt and going for the orange belt this year. It's Kemp Kenpo karate. It's basically karate involving the movement of the body and using the body as a weapon.
I've done karate, years ago, one belt away from black, but I had to stop due to a knee injury. And I did. I don't know if it's for you.
To go back for it.
It isn't, but I know for me, it was a great confidence builder. Has it been a great confidence builder for you?
Yes, it keeps me fit, keeps my mind focused, teaches me to watch my back and all, keep off the streets.
Has it built your confidence?
There's actually one. Yeah, but there's one move they do teach you for it: the Superman punch.
It certainly built my confidence.
No lie, they teach you how to use the Superman punch.
So did street dance. I did street dance. That built my confidence. The gym has, because I used to be super, super shy. People may think I'm sad, but I went out on nights out with my mum. Used to play darts every Wednesday. I used to go out with her, be in a pub, and just sit in a corner and say nothing to nobody. Street dance, the gym, and karate built my confidence. So yeah.
You should go back to them. They actually would be good. They'd be good for you to go back. Like, yeah, but it costs. I used to be.
But it costs money that could be spending. Costs money that could be spending on going. It costs money that could be spending on going to wrestling. So anyway,
everything costs money. That's the way of the world, mate. Look, I want to go back to a gym, but I know it's going to cost money, so I just have to do that.
And my gym is 23 quid a month, so that's not bad. And you get free classes. So if you're going, I don't go every day of the week, but if you did, you've completely paid for it. Paid for itself. Anyway, next segment here.
You should try and go back to those things. Like always, it's no good going back to stuff that make you feel good about yourself.
Okay, next segment here. Movie shop.
And that might help you get out of the house.
I go out of the house, gym, wrestling, afternoons, or you missed the, as I was telling the people, I don't know if you can see it, but because of the light, you can't. Can you see that?
Oh,
it's a candle.
It's a candle. Yeah, I see it.
Well, yeah, but can you see what's on it? Because of the light. It's the Brahma Bull carved in, and then on the other side, it's the rock. I've made that. I go to a craft class every Thursday, make something. So I get out of the house plenty. I walk my dog twice a day. It should be 3 times a day, but I'm lazy. Anyway, next segment, movie talk. So I know that we'll get to the film we've both watched. So like I was saying, I watch 3 films a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. If I'm going to a wrestling show on a Sunday, it's usually a Friday I'll move it to, or a Saturday. So last Wednesday I watched The Family Plan with Mark Wahlberg in. Yeah, good comedy film. Are you going to watch that?
We'll see. There's a couple of films I have on my mind that are out this weekend that I would like to see.
Mark Wahlberg is definitely amazing.
Well, it's not The Family Plan at the moment, but I'll look into more of that. The first film, because it's out this weekend over in Ireland. The Iron Claw's out this weekend, I think.
One's up to the Tribal Chief and the Wise Man. So now, Ian is my wise man. The Iron Claw. Repeat that. I thought it was okay. It was what it was. Cool to see a wrestling movie. Cool that the Von Erich family got a movie made about them.
Did you like Zac Efron?
Yeah. But then some people are saying this is the best movie they've ever seen. It was, yeah, okay. But back to Family Plan. Mark Wahlberg's always a good actor.
Oh no, I like Mark Wahlberg. I do find him.
And then the film with, yeah.
Another film that's out this weekend I want to see is The Beekeeper.
How many wrestlers are in that? Anyway, the film we both watched on.
But there's someone there is someone in it that could be a wrestler in the future. That is Jason Statham.
Cool. He's made some good films. So the film we both watched on Netflix was Rebel Moon, and I thought it was So yeah, it probably took way too much thinking for me. I like action straight up, or comedy films, or animated films.
I don't think it was really. I don't think it's a film that makes you think. It's made by a man named Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder made Dawn of the Dead, 300. He was involved in the DC cinematic universe with Batman and
Didn't he
Superman
make?
and the Justice
Oh yeah,
League.
Dawn of the Dead. The one with Batista in. What's it called?
Army of the Dead. Yeah, that's a good one.
That one. Did he make that? I don't know.
And this was hit basically. He did. This was basically Zack Snyder. He was a big fan of Star Wars. He saw Star Wars loads of times in the cinema, and he wanted to make his own version of the film. He wanted to make his own type of sci-fi opera, and he tried to give it to Lucasfilm, but Lucasfilm turned it down. And then they got bought by Disney, and he thought, no, fuck that, I won't do it. So he gave the film to Netflix, and they gave him all the free will to make a trilogy of that. There's a second one coming out in April. I saw this, and it was basically Zack Snyder's Star Wars. There was a lot of references. Anything taken from it was basically something you see in Star Wars. Now, the one thing about Zack Snyder, like, I don't mind him at all. Like, he gets a lot of stick for style over substance of directing, because when he makes a film, if he wasn't the film director, he'd actually be a good video game designer, because most of his films, they're kind of like whether you watch something like 300 or say, no, you won't know this one. If you watch something like 300 or Rebel,
I've seen 300. It's a good film.
It is a good film. I like it, but they do look like something you see in a video game. But he'd make a better video games designer sometimes than a film director, because this film was mostly Star Wars and stuff taken from Dune, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Avatar. But like, there is a sequel coming out, so I am going to see this. Yeah. I'm a completionist, so I like to see how it all comes to the end. But like, the special effects are nice looking. There's a good few action sequences, but it's basically Zack Snyder's Star Wars, so you know what you're seeing.
For me, unless it's mine, and this is not because I'm stupid or anything, it's just unless it's like mindless action or a comedy film or a kiddie film, an animated film, if you have to use your brain at all, I'm a bit like, ugh, what's going on? And my mum hates watching something with me like that you have to use your brain and think what's going on, because he pauses it every 2 minutes and says, well, this is what's going on. And after about half an hour, I just give up asking questions. And then the film I watched on Monday was Thanksgiving. Good horror. Have you heard of that? Are you going to watch it?
Yes, I did. Good horror. I want to see that. I missed that when I was out in the cinema, because it looks like an old school slasher in the veins of Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Scream. Oh, he's gone off there. Hello, YouTube world. Okay, I'm sorry. No, that is definitely on my list and all of films I want to see that I missed out in the cinema. I do want to see Thanksgiving, because it does remind. Oh, he's back now.
Again, I pressed the wrong button. Anyway, sorry, what you were saying? It looks like an old school.
It looks like an old school slasher movie in the vein of Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Scream.
It's got a lot of unique deaths in, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, a good film. Again, a film that you don't really have to use your brain. It's just straight up horror, gore. This is what's happening. There you go. Yeah. You don't have to sit and think, what's going on? Who are these characters? And just straight up mindless gore, which I like. So the next segment here, well, actually, no, we'll take about a 30-second break and we'll play one of two ads. And everybody else, and we get there, checking that description out. So play one of two ads, then we'll get to the next segment. But let's play this first. That is right. Pressing T's, Goldman's, and all my socials. So the next segment here, excuse me, is one second. See, I'm putting up the banners and trying to be more, trying to be less that kind of whatever. I know what I'm saying. Anyway, so the next segment is. Let me play the video. There we go. Wrestling Days Out with Ricky Goldman. So this is just a quick 2-minute thoughts review, I guess you could say, of the last show I went to. LWF Clash at the Centre 3 in Chorley. Decent show, but they had a light kind of behind the people in the crowd at kind of all four corners of the ring, apparently to make the lighting better. It just took out my view. And for anybody that went to Money in the Bank and sat up in the tiers, they'll know what I'm talking about. The light just took out your view at Money. Well, it did. People were chanting, turn the light off, which I thought was funny. But it just took out your view and you really couldn't see anything. But whatever. But that's same on Clash of the Centre. Like I had to sit behind somebody's head and they took out the light for me. But you had 2 title matches, and our guest later on was on this show, so I'm sure he will chat about that. Next segment, and I am doing voice only reviews on Podbean, so head over to that and give it a listen. Let me get the right one here. And the next segment is this. So wrestling roundup. So we'll start with the first Dynamite of the year, and I've just tapped them out on another phone. I don't even bother writing them down. Not even going to waste paper writing them down. So you had, give me a second. Undisputed. Who comes up with these names? Undisputed Kingdom coming out. What was your thought? I don't watch it to know, so I'm just basing it off the results and what I read.
I'm very much aware you don't watch I know you don't watch Dynamite anyway. No, I liked now what I saw with the Undisputed Kingdom, because like Adam Cole on this, he got straight to the point. He knew that MJF at some point would turn on him, so he had to do it first before MJ. Like, you have to strike before. If you're fighting against a snake, you want to strike before the snake does. And so, like with Adam Cole, like he has a good few. Like four of the 5 people. The first 4 or 5 of the group makes more sense because all those people, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, they're all raised in Ring of Honor. Like, Wardlow is just there, like, for the MJF stuff. Like, if Wardlow wasn't in, the person that would have been in would have obviously been Kyle O'Reilly, but Kyle O'Reilly is still dealing with a neck issue, and Bobby Fish was fired by AEW in 2022. Like, we saw what the plan is now. Roderick Strong will go after the international title. Bennett and Taven will go after the AEW tag titles, and Wardlow will go after the heavyweight title and then give it to Adam Cole.
Yeah, I had a few this is way too much talk on just a throwaway segment, which is everything on AEW.
I had a little thought about it now, like with Wardlow there, like I'd say at some point, say if he does go after the AEW champion, if it's Samoa Joe or MJF gets another shot and he retains, and we go into an MJF Adam Cole feud, and Wardlow is there, I don't think he's going to give it up. I'd say Wardlow will be gone, and then you could have all 5 members of the Undisputed Kingdom against, how about this, a reunited pinnacle of MJF, Wardlow, FGR, and someone else at Blood and Guts in the summertime.
I don't care what AEW does. They could bring in The Rock. I'd watch it if The Rock was on, but that'd be it. But
no, he'd have to break the bank to get The Rock.
But very, 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 very quickly, and I went over the reasons why outside the pay-per-views I don't. And if I had to pay for the pay-per-views, would I? Ugh, probably
You get them on
not.
Dance. You
If I
get them on
didn't,
Dance.
if there
I used to
wasn't a
get them on
free
PlayStation.
option, and the only option was you had to pay for them, would I? Oh, I don't know. Probably not. But I'm going to very, very quickly go through reasons, and I went through this on my World's End predictions. When I quickly take about 2 minutes to quickly go through the reasons why I don't really like AEW. Injuries, okay, it's not ballet. Injuries are going to happen. It's a physical thing, but it all World's End. It just seemed the whole roster was injured. MJF, Keith Lee, Abaddon, Tony Storm.
Tony Storm's not
Yeah.
injured.
What?
Tony Storm's
Who?
not injured.
Didn't she have tape on her arm?
Yeah, but that's
That's
not
an
really
injury.
That's
That's
not
an injury then.
Yeah,
That's an injury.
Yeah, but she's not out of action then. She just probably has to heal up. That's not
Injured.
Really
That's an
major
injury. It's still an injury. Coming off an injury or still injured. Old talent, they rely on old Ric Flair, 74, Sting, 64, Chris Jericho, 50 odd, Edge,
But hang
Adam
on.
Copeland,
Sure.
50,
we're looking-
Christian, 50, RVD, 52. Where's the young talent getting pushed?
But sure, like, you're going on saying that you want a 50-year-old to main event this year's Mania with the biggest star they have there. So
Biggest
kind of a
movie star in the
pot-calling
world.
kettle- Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
well,
he's 50. So pot calling the kettle black there, Ricky.
The Rock is levels above anybody in AEW. Anyone.
Yeah, it's a
Even
different
Ric
case,
Flair.
but you're
Ric
still
Flair
asking-
is levels
you're
below The
You're
Rock.
asking about young talent. You're wanting young talent to cover pay-per-views.
Well, The Rock's the biggest movie star in the world and a money magnet.
Like, I don't want Ric Flair to main event at AEW or an AEW in any way, but it's
But Ric Flair's 74 and not 50, and he isn't the biggest movie star in the world. Anyway, moving on. Storyline development. Again, don't watch Dynamite to really know. But I think the only real storyline that I feel has kind of pulled anybody in is this Devil storyline, and even fuck that up.
To be Adam Cole. Back to that time, I think Adam Cole was the wise choice, unless you were going to sign, unless it could have been Britt Baker or someone that had been fired by.
It could have been John Cena. What I'm saying is the only storyline they've really had, and that even doesn't pull people in because the orange doesn't grow. But it could pull people in. Is the Devil thing really? What else have they done to pull anybody in? Trash matches, or the match that I can think of is Hangman Pace where Strickland, absolutely awful. This is not a WrestleMania classic remembered in 20 years' time. It's a trash match on a decent pay-per-view, and he drank blood. Just awful. Absolutely awful. And this is not a rare occasion. Like John Moxley's busted up in every single week.
Well, that's his game. That's his game.
Well, and it's trash. That's why it's trash. That's why it's trash. And the fact that Tony Khan, which we'll get onto later, lets him do that means it's trash.
But he's been doing that for years. He wrestled a lot in the deathmatch scene in the Indies.
Okay, that's just an example. Why it just seems to be somebody getting busted open or a hardcore match or whatever, or something weekly.
They don't always have hardcore. But they don't always have hardcore matches in AEW. Like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, but look, I get the WWE does WWE. They like to protect their talent from injury. That's okay. In any sport, you should protect your talent from injury and all that. But
these hardcore death matches, is this why the whole roster's injured? Are they working them too hard? Possibly. The roster shows up in indie shows, which is cool for the indie shows. It's cool for the fans. But if a Swerve Strickland and Sean Spears are turning up was it House of Glory in America? How are they stars? How many indie shows does Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Gunther, Logan Paul? They're just names off the top of my head.
But is it
wrong? How many indie shows do they turn up to? None.
But isn't it wrong for other wrestling companies? Not wrong to work other wrestling companies to work with each other. That's how things survive. I mean, last week we had John Moxley over in Japan at Wrestle Kingdom competing against.
Yes, but that's on indie. Well, you could say the New Japan's indie, but I'm saying like you have
Well, it's
John Moxley was just.
in Japan.
But John Moxley was over there in OTT, which is super cool for OTT and super cool for the fans. But how many indie shows does Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins turn up to? None. Because, they're not stars. They're not stars. But there were stars in terms of Seth Rollins is a star in terms of he worked for the biggest wrestling company ever. No one knows him outside of WWE, but Roman Reigns and Logan.
But wouldn't he have gotten that social? But wouldn't he have gotten that exposure during his feud with Logan Paul?
Say that again.
Wouldn't he have gotten that exposure during his feud with Logan Paul?
Possibly, but what I'm saying, Reigns and Logan Paul are the two biggest stars WWE has, and they don't do indie shows, so.
Yeah, like the people like that, they had the exposure. If you get someone like Logan Paul with a feud with Seth Rollins, or Bad Bunny in a feud with Damian Priest, and then that's getting them known who they are.
Yeah, but Damian Priest or Seth Rollins is never going to be a name that you could ask any random person, name me a wrestler. Very, very doubtful they're going to say them.
Yeah, but like you could meet somebody who doesn't watch wrestling as well, like, and yeah.
I'm saying name me a wrestler, then they go, oh yeah, Damian Priest. You're going to say Rock, Hogan, Austin, Cena, Reigns, maybe.
There is that. You have to meet a certain type of person for that sort
of thing. So
you don't meet Johnny somebody on the street and ask them that because they might not have a clue.
The deluded roster. The deluded roster. I'm sure Powerhouse Hobbs. I read something that he thinks they're on the WWE level because WWE are wrestling and AEW are wrestling. No, WWE's levels above them. AEW are never going to be asked to do a show in Saudi or Australia or France or Germany. Then the demand's never going to be there. The audience, the weird, crazy, tribalist fans that actually, do they believe that they're better than WWE, or are they just looking for attention? Who knows? But if they believe that AEW is better than WWE, then get to the hospital. And of course, the owner, which we'll get onto later. But the whole NXT thing, NXT had John Cena and Taker on. AEW could have had their show any day. They could have done it on a Thursday. WWE don't have a show on Thursday. But no, Tony Khan chose it on a Tuesday. And then because WWE stacked their show, Triple H is a bald arsehole. How does that work? It goes into fans' DMs that disagree with him. Constantly taking shots at WWE. The thing at the press conf, the media scrum using sunglasses and a hat. He's just an embarrassment. He's a clown. He's a walking clown.
I'll get my thoughts on Tony Khan in a minute, but I don't watch AEW for Tony Khan. I watch AEW because there's people on it I do like.
Anyway, so you are.
I was just thinking, can I just go back on something here for a second? Tribalism is not the only thing that comes from AEW fans. There are some WWE fans who can be tribalistic. It's the whole internet wrestling community that has this tribalistic, toxic. Like, you could be part of it as well because you're bashing AEW and all that. You're still bashing AEW. Instead of
because we've got many problems. If they fix the problem, there's nothing to criticize.
But sure, WWE has its fair share of problems over the years as well. I mean, like, Triple H has done a well job in some areas, but he's not perfect, and some people have noticed it. But I'm not going to bash him. Like, he probably knows there's a few flaws that he
doesn't come on to one of the press conferences in a hat and sunglasses and just be a complete enough to mark and climb, does he?
No, when he's on, he does keep it professional at press conferences and the conference calls and on social media, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, you don't see Triple H saying, and we'll get onto this later, Tony Khan's latest stunts that he's pulled and just, we'll get onto that much later here. But you don't see Triple H going on to X, Twitter, call it what you like, and talking about one of their roster members. He doesn't do that, or Vince, or Nick Khan, or anybody in WWE.
No, he more praises them for the good work, and he doesn't do a bad.
So anyway, let's get back to Dynamite here. You had Jay White come out, and then the Acclaimed, or whatever the bloody call now.
Well, the Acclaimed, yeah. Well, like that made a lot because like Jay White was the first victim of the Devil Group, and so was the Acclaimed. Another person that was the victim was, of course, Hangman Adam Page.
So then, in action, you had Orange Cassidy. I presume it was for the title retain against Dante Martin.
Yeah, that was a good match. That was a good match.
You had Private Party return, and the internet was blowing up as if it was Stone Cold Steve Austin had just debuted. But yeah, it was cool to see them. Let's see if they actually do something with them. They haven't done up to now, but let's see if they do.
Private Party are trying to be the AEW equivalent of the Street Profits, except the Street Profits are booked better than Private Party. Like Private Party, when they started in AEW, they beat the Young Bucks on their first match, and then they faltered down, and then they were put in a group with Andrade and Matt Hardy, and then they were taken under the Hardy Boys' wing, and they still fluttered under there. And even like with Matt Hardy taking on the Hardys taking on like the Firm and Ethan Page, they still floundered, and they haven't been used since. So hopefully there's a bit of a change there. Like if you did use more of them, you could have made them the AEW Street Profits, but they haven't taken the advantage of that one.
Way too much time talking about a jobber tag team. Anyway, Maria May beat Queen Amanita. Who? Anyway, your thoughts?
I know Maria May. She's from the UK. She's competed
in
Japan.
Who's Queen Amanita? Who the fuck's that?
I'm not too familiar on that one, but that wasn't really the talking point.
Deanna Purrazzo debuted, which is cool for her, but she's not going to exactly move the needle now, is she? So yeah, cool. But
with the Deanna Purrazzo thing, like everyone was probably expecting Mercedes Moné because there was talk she was meant to debut this week, but that didn't happen. So I still think that I'd say she's pulled a CM Punk and secretly signed with WWE.
Yeah, very, very, very quickly. If she does go to AEW, she'll be like, oh, the rest. Get that month push, and then that's it. Just like everybody else.
So you have to put Deanna Purrazzo on that because she's ex-WWE as well. Like the reason she signed for WWE is because she didn't want to deal. They felt the first time she was there, they didn't think she was ready for TV, and she lost patience with them. So let's see how this works, knowing how AEW, they're not the best when it comes to the women's division. Now they have some good matches.
They aren't the best at anything. But you had the Patriarch, whatever Christian's team is called. There we go. In-ring interview. Yeah. They did an in-ring interview. I don't know what was really said, but yeah. And obviously me talks about Edge, Adam Copeland, I think. I don't know what was said. Connor, and I always butcher his name, Konosuke Sake Takashita, or as Jim Cornette calls him, take a shit, beat Darby Allin. Okay, go on, your thoughts.
Well, it seems to me like they'll be getting a bit of a 6-man tag now out of that. There's going to be an 8-man tag. There's a tag feud coming up. It's Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs, and they took on Sting and Darby. I think it was on Dynamite or Rampage.
Yeah, we'll get to that Rampage in a bit later. Trent Beretta in a failed 4-way. I don't know what he gets here. Probably unemployment.
He got a shot at Eddie Kingston and Collision.
Beat Brian Keith and El Hijo de Vikingo. So what does he get?
He got a shot at Eddie Kingston's he got a shot at the Continental Championship.
Okay. And in your main event, Swerve Strickland beat Daniel Garcia. Okay.
That was a good match. Now Swerve has really stepped up, but now we're going into somewhere with Hangman and Page now, so we're probably getting a steel cage, and more likely the winner gets the first shot at Samoa Joe.
And I do agree with what I do. Do you listen to Jim Cornette's podcast?
Sometimes.
I do. Yeah, I think he's fantastic, but his co-host, Brian Last, said Swerve's becoming a face because he's getting cheered.
He's a bit of a face now, but like he has a good connection with especially with Prince Nana and the dancing, and like the theme tune gets people singing. He kind of has that sort of tweener face.
Not a good heel, then, is he? Not a good heel. Anyway, if I'm going to rate Dynamite, A bronze, Jesus Christ. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. It makes me think, oh, I'm going to watch Dynamite next week or this week. First SmackDown of... Oh, dear. Results are somewhere. Give me a second, dear. 1 second. I write down the results like a mark. Give me a second. 1 second. There we go. So first SmackDown of 2024, New Year's Revolution. Cool. Kevin Owens beat Santos Escobar in the final for the US title tournament. This is cool. So you're going to get Owens, Logan Paul, the Rumble, which is cool. You know, Kevin Owens.
First,
The fact that he's getting the title.
For Logan Paul.
Yeah, cool.
It's a good first start for Logan Paul's defense. It's a first good start for Logan Paul with someone like Kevin Owens, because you have the smart Alex social media giant versus the fighting Canadian. Makes more sense. He's just straight up fighting. And plus, Logan Paul has backup from the likes of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, who are always good with their mouths. So that should make them. Like, the match with Kevin Owens and Santos was good. My only thing was, like, because you had the LWO take out Humberto and Angel, I thought we were leading to a moment with Andrade, but I'd say that won't be until the Rumble.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we would have thought you'd probably be in the Rumble, but we'll save that for another time. You had Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits in the ring, then Karen Cross, Scarlett, Paul Ellering came out, and then the Arthur Payne's return and beat up Lashley and Profit, so it's heel versus beating up heels. Okay, you could have
you could have Lashley and the Street Profits go a bit face for this occasion.
Could, if that's this week, okay, but they were heel last week, and it's heels beating up heels. Okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do across in the. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do across in the Authors of Pain, like, because they fixed up this. They fixed up both them now. They've taken away the Doomsday character cross, and they've made Scarlett looked a bit more streetwise. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing Paul Ellering work with them as well. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with this group.
It could Io Sky returning against Michin, retaining WWE Women's title, just for Michin to get this title shot. Cool, not a bad match. Obviously, Io's not losing until Mania if she loses at all, I think. Anyway, but yeah, this was a good match.
It's still very undecided how they're going to go with Io's reign, whether she loses before Mania or she defends the title against Bayley. Although Michin she nearly pulled off a great Styles clash. She obviously has been learning well from AJ Styles.
You had a call-up. I didn't think this was a call-up, but it was. Tyler Bates officially now on SmackDown. Him and Butch knocked off Pretty Deadly. Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, he got a good reaction. Look, he got a good reaction as well to the crowd. He pulled a good match there. But I like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what to do more with this. And will Sheamus play a part when he gets back?
We thought he returned to the Rumble, but again, we'll save that for another time. And then your main event, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton ended in no contest because of the head of the table, Roman Reigns, got involved, leading to fatal 4-way match at the Royal Rumble. Your thoughts on that?
I think that was the right call, because it was reported by Meltzer that they didn't want Randy Orton losing too soon. So it is the right call. Like, you have AJ Styles, he has his history with the bloodline. You have Randy Orton, and then there's LA Knight. Now, the Rumble is special with LA Knight because last year's Rumble, he competed in what was the last match with Bray Wyatt, which wasn't met to good reaction, and he worked his way up through that, and now he's in what will be the main event at the Rumble. So that is showing they have a lot of faith in LA Knight.
Well, we'll see. Do they main event with that or the Rumble match itself? I guess we'll wait and see.
But yeah, it saves hatred on anyone who eliminates LA Knight from the Rumble if he was to be eliminated by Cody or Punk. That saves the crowd turning on them. So
now a lot of people. First of all, my rating for SmackDown. I thought it was unfortunately filler. Like what really happened. It was good. It was good.
I liked it.
I'll say a silver rating.
I think it was definitely I thought it was a gold. I loved Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. I'm looking forward to what they're doing with what they will do across an AOP, and it was a great fatal 4-way. And we saw a good debut for Tyler Bate. That's a gold.
What fatal four-way? Triple threat, you mean?
For a triple threat, yeah. For a triple threat.
But I suppose we'll save Rumble talk for another time. But people are thinking the great thing with every Reigns match is this when he loses. When he faced Jay, I thought, are they going to give it to Jay? When he faced LA Knight, I thought for a second, are they going to give it tonight? Now people are thinking, does Orton win here? So you say been really getting pinned, that it's Orton, Cody at the Rumble, the Rumble Mania, which if it is, still won't be the main event. And then you still do Rock Reigns.
I don't think it should be Cody versus Orton. Like, if they give the shot to Cody and he just pins Orton, it won't feel special because it needed to be from Reigns, and that's all I'll just say.
I like Orton story. He didn't win in the title. He could be a pin almost for the title.
Yeah,
and it's still the story completed.
But it will feel special if he defeats Reigns. Whoever does it will make the person feel special if they defeat Reigns, and that's all I'll just say. Because we went into all this last week, and
his story is him winning the title. He could pin it almost for the title, and he still finished the story. Anyway, the story is him winning the title, not him pinning Reigns. If it's him pinning Reigns, then do Reigns Cody at Mania without the title. Anyway, Rampage.
Didn't see it.
That Rampage, was it Rampage? It was taped, wasn't it? Okay, you didn't see it. So I'll just get your thoughts here on
Collision. Just skip to Raw.
Well, just get your thoughts on results then. So Mark Briscoe and the Hardys beat Kip Sabian, the Butcher and the Blade. Your thoughts?
No surprise.
Okay. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander beat Kendi, Hardcastle, and Notorious Mimi.
Only know Statlander and Nightingale, so that would have been no surprise there.
I don't know who the two are. Hikaru Shida knocked off Anna Jay. Well, Anna Jay's not been doing much lately, has she?
I think she's going into a new faction with Saraya, but I would have seen Shida win that one.
And Wheeler Yuta retain against Commander, retain the ROH Pure Championship. Okay. Again, a bronze. Ugh. Level Up, you may not watch it, but I certainly check the results. So I'll quickly do this. 3 matches as always. Brooks Jensen beat Luca Crucifino. In women's tag team action, Kiana James, Izzy Dane beat Kaya Saint and Brinley Reese. And Oro Mensah beat Dion Lennox. Your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts or not?
I haven't watched NXT. I don't watch NXT Roundup. I could start watching it now.
So Level Up. I don't watch it either, but I just check the results like a mark. Collision. Ugh, you didn't watch it, so I'll just go through the results. Sting and Darby Allin beat the Work Horsemen. Who are there?
I'm not sure on that one there. I'm not sure.
Eddie Kingston retained the Continental Championship against Trent Beretta.
That would have been, that was his first defense, so he's always got to retrain, but I could see that was a good match.
Undisputed Kingdom knocked off and defeated Brian Keith and Commander. Non-title match.
No surprise there, they would have won that.
Adam Copeland beat Griff Garrison.
Griff Garrison, he used to be in the Varsity Blondes with Brian Pillman Jr., now Lexus King, and now Edge is just trying to work himself back up into the TNT title picture, so it's kind of Edge is down the back of the line, which is not a good sign for Edge.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Edge, Adam Copeland, WWE Hall of Famer, in my opinion, one of the greatest of all time. 11-time champion, won every title there is. Great. I think he's a great talker, great at getting heat. And Tony Khan's doesn't know what to do with him. Anyway, let's just move on.
You kind of call the equivalent of Brett and WCW with Eric Bischoff.
Sky Blue went over Kiera Hogan.
Kiera Hogan used to be a baddie.
Yeah, I don't know who they are. Was it her and Jade Cargill?
They were the group with Jade Cargill before Jade went to WWE. Yeah, I knew Sky Blue would be winning that. Or if she's could be Sky Black since she's teaming up with Julia Hart.
Claudio Castagnoli 1-2-3 on Andrew Everett. I've met Andrew Everett.
No, yeah, I know him.
But that's all I know of him. That's it.
Know him.
And
Yeah, Claudio would have won that easily.
in your main event, if you can call it a main event, FTR knocked off House of Black.
That would actually be a good match now to watch there because I love FTR, so that would have been a good match.
Bronze for that as well. Again, there's nothing, absolutely not one thing there that made me want to tune in and watch Rampage or Collision. Anyway, let's go to Raw. I thought Raw kicked off probably the most interesting thing of the night, really. You had
Drew and Punk.
Drew McIntyre in the ring, and then the best in the world, CM Punk, came out, cut a promo. Both cutting good promos here. Your thoughts on this?
Yes, that was good. I'd say we'll get Punk versus Drew at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I'm thinking depends who returns at the Rumble, but people are saying Punk and Edge Lee versus Rollins and Becky Lynch.
I've already said
we'll have to wait and see though. A surprising win. You saw Tommaso Ciampa beat Finn Balor. I was shocked at this.
Yeah, and next week we're getting DIY versus McDonough and Mysterio, and then Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day.
I presume they'll add Judgment Day versus DIY to the Rumble. I would have thought. Jackie Redmond is getting her own show. I won't be watching it. It's by NFL, but cool. It's cool for her. What do you think? What's your thoughts of this?
I'm not too sure because I don't watch American football.
I don't think. No, do you think it's cool for that she's getting her own show?
Yeah, if she knows her much about stuff, then yeah.
I won't be watching it. CM Punk's on it. He's apparently a big fan of Red Hawks. I think that's American football. I don't know. Anyway, Ludwig Kaiser and Kofi Kingston went to a double countout. I liked this. I like that they're showing a kind of a different attitude for Ludwig Kaiser, I suppose you could say it is. He's definitely trying to impress Gunther.
Well, let's see what happens with them next week because Gunther's back after his absence because he was away. His wife had a child, so he'd been away with them for a bit. This will be his first appearance since the Raw Christmas special on December 18th in that cracking match with The Miz.
It was an okay match. Nia Jax, who actually got a good promo here. Jesus. Interview with Michael Cole. Rhea Ripley came out. Like I said, and actually quite a decent promo from Nia Jax.
They seem to be doing something well with Nia Jax. Last week, she had a cracking match with Becky Lynch, and now this with Rhea Ripley. I could see being Rhea versus Nia at Elimination Chamber.
I think it should be a stick Rhea in the chamber, but again, let's wait and see. You had the KC.
I think they're having a chamber match for the women's #1 contendership, which will probably go to Becky Lynch.
You had the KC's Kane and Katana Chance retain their women's tag team titles against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Yeah, this was a decent match.
They're actually calling them the Twinkle Twins.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I would call them the Party Girls. Because, like, if you see them, they're like, I call them the Party Girls, but then again, that probably gives them.
That definitely fits.
But, Twinkle Twins, not my cup of tea.
You had the Miz, and I do like this. The stuff with R-Truth is funny. The fact that he's completely confused.
I saw the video for that, and I was breaking my balls laughing. I was listening to a podcast, American podcast. There was a chap saying that he doesn't like the R-Truth stuff with the Judgment Day. He thinks it's very corny. That it's kind of
it is.
Judgment Day who are supposed to be a serious. No, I don't. It's not ruining all of the Judgment Day. Because look at it.
It is in a way. Like Jimmy Priest shouldn't. He's meant to be like a top heel, and he's laughing and joking with R-Truth. Is why I've said.
But that's the gift. That's the gift. R-Truth can make one of the top heels break character. We saw what he did in 2020 with Brock Lesnar, and that's the thing. Nobody is there. Not all the Judgment Day is suffering from it. Finn and Damian are still the tag champs. Damian Priest will still get his Money in the Bank opportunity. Rhea Ripley is still kicking ass. Dominic is all right. The only one who's really taken the brunt of the R-Truth is JD McDonough.
But this is why I've said you have The Rock win at the Mania, and Priest catches in on The Rock, the most popular guy in the world. That makes him a top heel. That's what I would do. You want to make him a top heel again and make Damian Priest, who's a bigger name than The Rock. Anyway, you have the Miz.
I've already said my view on that, but let's just go back to it now. I've already said my view on that matter.
That makes Damian Priest. Who else can make him apart from The Rock? And you want the headlines, the Raw after Mania, all of that. Anyway, the Miz knocked off JD McDonough. Okay, but I like I like the R-Truth stuff that he completely confuses the commentary team. Okay, so Seth Rollins made his way out, and the guy that everybody's talking about, which we'll get to later here, Jinder Mahal, made his way out. This I would have done Jinder Rollins at the Rumble, because just why not? Seth is winning.
They could set up something else for like Jinder gets himself disqualified, and it brings a match into the Rumble.
Yeah, because
if you're having Seth Rollins,
who's the two Seth facing now at the Rumble, and Seth is winning. Well, we'll get onto Jinder later, but yeah, I would have done this at the Rumble. Yeah, Ivar defeating Otis. I do like the push that Ivar's getting. Usually, when a tag team partner's injured,
well, Ivar is secretly talented. Like he's a big man that can move, like a Bronson Reed. He can move and do stuff that most big men can't do. Like he can do a handstand.
I do like that. Usually, when a tag team partner's injured, the remaining tag team partner is either buried or just they do nothing with them, and he's getting a push. I think this is cool.
Obviously, it's obviously that Triple H has seen something in the Ivar. He knows, Eric. We don't know what the story is because he's getting the kind of neck fusion surgery that the likes of Big E and Robert Roode had, and that means that their career is not we know that Robert Roode is now working as a producer, and Big E's situation is a very different case. Plus, Endeavor are very careful when it comes to wrestlers with neck injuries. So
this could be it for Rick. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then in your main event, now, before I get into my thoughts here, I did like they actually made Nakamura look like a star. He isn't a star. Who knows Nakamura outside of WWE, but they made him look like a star. Like Triple H clearly wants to do something with Nakamura. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's definitely one of Nakamura's best matches on the main roster. I liked the other two matches I've always I liked with Nakamura on the main roster were the Last Man Standing with AJ Styles and the match he had with Gunter on SmackDown 2022. They were good matches. But it was more about getting Cody over.
My quick thoughts on that. His music is why he's over. You give him, I don't know, Akira Tozawa's theme, let's say, and which is very generic, where the people can't sing along and go, whoa, is he as over? No, because a theme is everything. You're The Rock, Austin, Taker, legendary themes. A theme is everything. A theme is make or break.
But that theme will be a legendary theme many years to go.
It won't. It won't be up there with Rock, Austin, Taker, Cena, Hogan. No, he won't. He's all American. He's got the coat. He's got the horrible tattoo that people buried. So, of course, he's going to get cheered. His dad was very well loved. He was a legend. And he gives away his belt to the kiddies, which I think is whatever. And other people watching him think, oh, isn't he sweet? Take all that away, he wouldn't be over.
There's no harm in him doing that for kids. Brett gave his sunglasses to kids.
Which is cool. It's cool for the kids. They've got something to take home, and that's absolutely what a memory for a kid. They get to take that home, and Cody Rhodes picked that kid out and gave him his belt. Cool. But the people are going to think, oh, isn't he sweet? I just think, ugh, get on with the wrestling. Anyway, Cody Rhodes defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, Street Fighter match. It's boring. I just thought this was boring. Your typical match, your typical street fight match. You know, good win for Cody, and yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Like you expect like a regular WWE street fight. Like I was listening to a few reviewers who are thinking like, why don't they let them be wrestlers? And like, they're not going to let Triple H, not going to let Cody or one of them get injured, leave Rumble and Mania. So he's not going to really risk that as well. But like the match was fine.
And my other thought watching was technically 29 other people lose the Royal Rumble. Technically, they don't win, therefore they're losers. So Cody is going to lose. So why is he not just stuck in a? They could have done Nakamura Cody at the Rumble and give him a win heading into Mania, rather than putting him in the Rumble where he's going to lose.
Well, like you still need him for a top match. You still want to have that thought that he could win it.
And if he does win it, there we go. The fans will turn because nobody wants him to win it again. Because then it's obvious what your main event is.
He doesn't need to win it. Like you give that to Punk 100%.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, take out Punk. You're average. Now, Raw, as I've said it before, I'll say it again, it got a whole lot better than it has when Vince had it, was in charge. It could still get a whole lot better, but it is better. Bronze for me. I thought this was an average Raw, really.
I'd say silver. I enjoyed some of the matches. The Punk McIntyre was the highlight.
Yeah. NXT, which I thought, again, NXT up there with SmackDown for me. Anyway, Blair Davenport, surprising win over Nikita Lyons. I thought Nikita had this. What did you think?
I was going with Blair Davenport. She needed that win after the match at New Year's Evil.
Okay. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin are probably going to win the entire thing. I suppose it's too early to tell, but I can't really see who's going to beat them. But they knocked off Dallas in a first round Dusty Rhodes classic match.
That was fun. No, I think it's going to come down between Breaker and Corbin versus Hayes and Williams.
No, because Williams will be going after the title. So now
he's in the Dusty Rhodes Classic with Carmelo Hayes. He's in it.
And the finals are Vengeance Day, and he'll be going after the title.
We don't know what the story is yet with Dragunov at the moment. So
it's not real. It's a kayfabe injury. So
we don't know yet.
It'll be Ilya versus Trick probably at Vengeance Day, would be my guess.
Unless they have Trick wrestle twice.
Possibly. Yeah, you could. Yeah, they lose because of Carmelo. And then that would play into, is he going to turn on him? Yeah, you could. Lyra Valkyria in-ring promo. You had Lola Vice come out. Yeah, this was okay.
She's not wiggling her arse on Instagram.
She's not what?
Wiggling her arse on Instagram.
Lola Vice.
Yeah.
Josh Briggs, went over Oro Mensah. I like the push that Josh is getting.
Yeah, I watched him there. Like you saw a hint of like Ron Simmons with the spine buster and JBL with the clothesline. Imagine what would happen if you had JBL manage Josh Briggs. Like that could be something. What he could do with Josh Briggs that he couldn't do with Corbin.
Yeah.
Briggs and Jen, what was your fella's name? Briggs and Jensen were together. They were very like, we thought they could be a modern day APA, but it didn't work out for them there. But they did win the NXT UK titles, but they could have been an NXT APA.
I do the hope that Brooks isn't. It seems that Fallon and Josh is getting the push and Brooks is just forgotten about. I hope that's not the case, but the family retained against OTM out the mud just for OTM to get the title. Sort of thing was cool. And you're having Jadea Parker brought into this, so she's going to get used in a push. So they continues to push OTM. Fantastic. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they had the match as well. I like the family as a tag team. I couldn't have seen them losing now this close to Vengeance Day, because they'll obviously, I could see them probably dropping to either Breaker or Corbin, or more likely Williams and Hayes.
That'll be after Vengeance Day though. Cora Jade beat Gigi Dolan. Now Gigi Dolan hasn't had a big win to make this a big win for Cora, but Cora's getting a push, so cool.
I'd say this is Cora's year to win the NXT Women's title. I think she could be the one to beat Leah Valkyrie.
Nathan Frazier and Axiom advanced first round Dusty Rhodes Classic match against Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Cool, and I like that last year Frazier and Axiom were just there, really not doing anything on NXT. They had a match at Deadline, and now they're being used and pushed. Take note, Tony Khan, this is how you push people. Anyway, your thoughts on this?
No, I was going with them after all. Like Hank and Tank, they're all right. But no, like I think you'd go with the faster team over that one.
And in your, I suppose, double main event, there's no such thing, but Dragon Lee retaining against Lexus King, North American Championship, just for Lexus King to get that shot. Cool. So first of all, your thoughts on this?
It's a start for him. I've liked what they've done with Lexus King at the moment. He's been very much well used since he's come to NXT. Like, I'd say there is more to come with him now. Like, just give it time, because he will get.
And then you had a cash in. And I think this is just fantastic. Femi beats Dragon Lee for the title. So you're bringing the title back to NXT. I would imagine Dragon Lee is now full-time main roster, is my guess. And this is what the breakout tournament's all about. Something like Femi winning and then going on to win the title. Great.
That was actually a big moment, because he became the first nil athlete to win a title from NXT. He became the first nil. Like, I'm liking what they're doing with Oba. Like, I see, like, he's got everything to him. He's got a bit of Goldberg, bit of Batista, a bit of Bobby Lashley, I wouldn't say Brock, but he's definitely someone that they're going to do stuff with in the future. Like, he'd be someone that would have gotten over in the Vince era.
Definitely, I think he's fantastic. He's got the size, he's got the look. The fans are behind him. Yeah, great.
It's a good start. It's a good breakout start for him.
So my rating, I thought NXT was good. They deliver every single week. Oh, silver to gold in between there. I thought it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably a silver.
I thought NXT, they deliver every week. For me, SmackDown, I think NXT SmackDown are playing on the same level for me. So I definitely played the wrong thing there. So our, I suppose, final segment here before our guest joins us, hopefully joins us soon, is, in fact, I'm going to play another video and take a toilet break. So one last video, so do take notice at this. I did write all my socials there, and me follow me, do all of that. And our final segment here is news and headlines. So we'll start with, we'll finish with the big story. The big story that everybody's talking about.
I think
I just find it absolutely hilarious. We'll finish with that. We'll start with the Triple H's announcement. Everybody thought it was going to be different things, and it's going to be Money in the Bank in Canada. Personally, I think either put Money in the Bank back on Mania, or have it. You can catch in for any title. You could, be really creative with that. But your thoughts on this? Money in the Bank in Canada?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, it continues their expansion into the international market, because now we've got 4 pay-per-views in different parts of the world, because you have Elimination Chamber in Australia, Backlash in France, Money in the Bank in Canada, and now Bash of Berlin in August. So, like,
and Saudi, they go to Saudi twice a year.
Yeah, of course they go to Saudi, and there's a big market in Canada for WWE, and there is a big talent roster. There is a good amount of Canadian talent, so we could see either 1 or 2 Canadians taking home the Money in the Bank briefcase. If I'm booking it, if it's a women, it's obviously going to be Chelsea Green. Like, you could have a thought that, like, will Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens play a major part in the pay-per-view? Will Sami get a shot at Cody, or will he get a shot at whoever the world champion is going into the pay-per-view? We just have to wait and see, because, like, we saw, like, the Canadian fans are very, like, passionate. I mean, like, we saw last year with Sami v Reigns at Elimination Chamber how great the crowd was there, and that match itself was great. So
you are passionate, but then Reigns is a good heel, so there's that as well.
Yeah, there was a bit of both.
Hopefully as well, either the UK, England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland get a pay-per-view this year. Hopefully,
yeah, I would love a wrestling pay-per-view over here.
Do you think they should stick?
Park.
What?
Croke Park is a venue in Dublin.
Okay. Do you think they should stick Money in the Bank either back on Mania, or have it you can catch in for any title?
It depends on how the card is at Mania, but, like, if you can't get it in, just keep it as a pay-per-view, because there's only, like, 2 team pay-per-views since Triple H took over creative. That's Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank. But, like, the concept still works. Like, it was great last year, so just keep at it if the concept is still working. Who would you actually go with who would you go with if you're booking it for Canada?
No idea.
Women, probably Chelsea Green, but men, I would say, just hold a second. Men, if it was for men, I'd either say Sami Zayn or Shinsuke Nakamura, but that's my view on that one. But we'll cross that bridge in another time.
If Money in the Bank was going to be on Mania, so last year, the WrestleMania Showcase match, they could have done that. Money in the Bank, Shayna wins, Ronda helps her. Why did she need the title? She'd already been champion. They go on to win the tag team titles. Shayna turns on to do exactly what they did. Shayna turns on Ronda, beats her. She's looking strong, and then she goes in to cash in. That's what I would have done. But and if you're having it, they can catch in for any title. How creative could you be? You could have Damian Priest, who's the current Money in the Bank, so he runs these. Watching a monitor backstage on a Reigns match. He's on commentary for a Seth Rollins match. He's on the stage for a Gunther match. He's in the same building as the US champion. Is he going to cash in? He finds himself as a tag team partner. Could it be the tag team? He'd be so creative with it, and they're just not. Heat Wave is going to be a pay-per-view for the first time ever in 24 years. I think that's super cool. What do you think?
It's good to see that they are increasing more pay-per-views for the NXT brand as well, and it's something to watch after Money in the Bank. That's all.
Yeah. Again, we'll get into Tony. Take note, Tony Khan. This is what you do. Why aren't AEW doing the same? We'll get on to Tony Khan later, but again, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, Heat Wave. It's more money. It makes it a big weekend. Just like WWE is growing and growing and growing. TNA this weekend, Hard to Kill. I won't be watching it, but apparently there's a big name that's going to be turning up. It's on the poster, on the thing. It says, "You won't believe who's turning up." Could it be somebody out of NXT or not?
It's somebody probably going to be that was released during the releases that happened in September during the Endeavor merger when the 90 days expired on December 20th. So if I was to pick someone from there, it would either be Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, or Tennille Dashwood.
None of those are going to be like, oh, they've turned up.
You know, or another option, it could be Mandy Rose.
Again, yeah. It sounds like somebody big, which none of those are. So I don't know who it could be.
I'd say Dolph. I'm going to go Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, but he's not like, Dolph Ziggler's here. But like, Dolph Ziggler's here.
Former world champion, one of the most underrated talent there. The other thing about Hard to Kill is that this, along with being the first pay-per-view under the new TNA banner, this could be the last time Trinity Fatu is on it, because she is looking like she's coming back to WWE, and she could come back in time for the Rumble.
It's the Sting. You could have. It could be Sting. He's on his retirement tour thing.
He was in TNA. He's in the TNA Hall of Fame.
To have him turn up and 2002. He could turn up, do a promo, or even do a match. So
could be that.
I think it could be him or maybe NXT. I don't think it's any of the release guys, because Ali, Emmett, and El Dashwood or Dolph Ziggler be like, okay, cool. They're not going to break the internet, are they? And okay, well, that's another thing we can talk about. Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, call him what you like. He's now in New Japan.
Yeah, he's in New Japan.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right. He's in New Japan, so that could rule him out of Hard to Kill.
I won't be watching New Japan. I don't watch it, but him and Matt Riddle are there, so cool. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that could rule him out of appearing at Hard to Kill. So you have to go with either someone like Ali, or maybe even Elias, or maybe Tennille Dashwood. It won't be what's his name, Top Dollar, because he's already made the appearance.
Doesn't matter. It is. It's a big swerve. You won't believe who's tuning up. Is it Hogan? Is it Sting? No, forget it. It's Top Dollar. That's like Tony Khan level of announcements. And out he comes to botch. To botch.
Yes.
So let's talk. So many thoughts on this, and just the big story everybody's talking about. Tony Khan being Tony Khan, tweeting about Jinder Mahal. Please shoot me now. This just gets people thinking, because Jinder, don't hinder the Jinder. People, he has his supporters. There'll be people that want him to win, and there'll be even people that think he's going to win. So all Tony Khan has done, he's made sure people go, oh, Jinder's having a match on Raw. Oh, I might watch.
I think for one, the moral of this story is don't do cocaine, children.
It's just you don't see just this ridiculous. Tony Khan is certainly bad for business. He should be. He wants AEW. He doesn't want AEW to grow. He doesn't want the audience to grow. He does nothing for them to grow. Even the weirdest, craziest, tribalist AEW mark can't defend this.
I've been looking at this. I've been looking at the story over the last while. Like, I think Tony Khan probably should not have gotten involved, because this was a thing involving wrestlers. Because this started off when Hook challenged Samoa Joe for the AEW title, and Joe seemed to have
no, it started.
And then Jinder said, "Who the
no, it started with the USA Network saying." Again, Tony Khan uses cage match that apparently a couple of hundred people use, but he uses that as a way of saying his shows are good, then he needs validation that his shows are good. USA Network tweeted out something, what was the cage match rating, and that's what started it all off.
Yeah, they started all the rating for all the cage match month of every pay-per-view of the month.
And that's what started it off. That's what Tony Khan said, Jinder Mahal.
And then then Tony Khan took a dig at Jinder Mahal, and Jinder has managed to get his defenses. Now, I'm not a fan of Jinder Mahal. I'm not a fan of his wrestling style. I think he's very slow-based and can be a bit boring. But no, like, I don't think on this occasion Tony Khan should have stuck his nose in on this one, because he's not doing himself any good, because this was between wrestlers, because we saw interaction with Jinder and Hook. Then we had Taz get involved to come to Hook's defense. Then Tony Khan came in, and as a promoter, you should not get involved if this thing is with wrestlers on Twitter and bury someone, because you are not doing yourself favors as a promoter. And we've seen this before, like, wrestlers shouldn't be doing that either, because we saw that in 2019 with Seth Rollins, how he buried Will Ospreay, and people turned on him, and we saw the downfall of Seth Rollins in 2019 that would lead to a comeback in 2023.
Joining us, down my final thoughts about Tony Khan. He doesn't, I'll make this quick, 30 seconds to a minute. He doesn't want the audience to grow. This drives people away. Why aren't AEW doing Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, let's say or two, and then All In at Wembley? Instead of selling less tickets, he's using Hook like Hook's at anybody. Yeah. Just awful, childish, mawkish, ridiculous, hilarious. Anyway, I'm going to bring in my guest, and he is the man himself. He is Mr. Indie. He is the leader of the brand. He is the real Ryan Lowe.
Thanks, Ryan.
And how are you? The Mr. Indie, how are you?
Hey, it's Mr. Indie Wrestling. Thank you very much. Let's get it right. If we're going to say...
I apologise, Mr. Indie Wrestling. I apologise.
How's everyone doing? You all right?
I'm okay. And how are you?
We're good. Hi from Ireland, by the way.
Hey, you all right? How you doing?
I'm good.
So,
question is, have you got a Guinness with you?
They're back in the shed. They're back in the shed. I'll go get one later for you.
Fair enough.
Let me just I'll just put that up for you. So that's your I'll keep that up throughout. That's your Facebook page, I believe, the real Ryan Lowe brand that everybody should stand for. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they should stand with the brand. Yes, they should.
So I saw you in 8-man tag team action on Friday at Clash of the Centre 3. You came down to the final few. You almost won there.
Actually, technically,
what happened?
Should have won. Technically, should have won. I got approached by the general manager and asked, "Was I eliminated?" I was like, "Well, if you didn't see it, get in the ring and deem me the champion. I should have won." No, it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. It's chaos to plan, but it was such a fun match in general. And the fact that we were doing it with Inspire, which we had the kids come out with us at the start with our entrances and whatnot, they actually chose to come out with us. So it wasn't anything to do with like us picking which kid we wanted to come out with us. Just to give a heads up to everyone, these kids we didn't just randomly pick kids out of the crowd. It was, these guys are working with the LWF on a youth program. So they wanted to be part of the Inspire show, and it was just a great thing that LWF did, to be honest. Letting them pick their characters, come out with the guys that they wanted to come out with.
A little bit hard to be a heel when you've got a kid coming out with you, I'm guessing.
No, not really.
That's a first if a kid comes out. Although then again, Dark Order would have been, if Brody Lee was still alive and he had his -1 come out, would you call Dark Order still heel?
I mean, at the time, yeah. I to be honest, it's you say it's hard to come out with a kid as a heel, but it's not, because they've made characters themselves, and the guy that came out with us is a bad guy. He was called the Serpent, I believe. And yeah, he wants to be a bad guy when he's able to join the professional wrestling scene. So
unfortunately, the view. Sorry, Ian, go on.
The bad guys are always interesting. That's why.
That's it.
But then again,
it's always good to be the bad guy.
I know. But then again, when we come to bad guy children, Joffrey was a bad guy. So that's a.
I mean, I feel like we're going to the extreme there. If we're bringing Game of Thrones into it, we are going a bit to the extreme.
But the lights at the show.
I'm going to say he was like Scar, just misunderstood.
Oh, yeah.
The lights at the show on Friday, they were a bit hard for me to see. I think they took out my view. I don't know why they had the lights, but
it just
got the lights in the corners.
To be honest, I believe it made some of the photos a bit harder to take, but it adds to the bit of the excitement for people, I suppose, in the arena. It just kind of makes that ambiance, as they say, a little bit more wrestling related. You can have the dark screens and whatnot, but yeah.
And I saw you at TWA in the Rumble, and you seem to be having a little trouble with Passing Wind, the invisible horse. How is he not invisible?
Let's not talk about Cake. Yeah, remember, kids. Anyone that's watching, just say no to Cake. TWA, just for the guys that don't know, is Tenacious Wrestling Alliance in Darwin, and I am subject to being stomped into Cake or faced. I would get caked every time that I'm there. Passing Wind is an invisible horse that just likes to play mockery on me, and yeah, it's a lot. To be honest, I quite, as much as I should get annoyed at it, I actually really enjoy the moments where Passing Wind comes out, because it kind of puts you on the spot, being able to try and come up with stuff that's different and be able to actually bump without actually having someone there to bump you. So it takes a lot of creativity, and to be honest, yeah, I think I do all right.
Yeah, I think I enjoy it. I think it's creative, something different. And the Rumble was very chaotic. Was it fun to be in?
Yeah, we had our Star Wars moment with the Grinch. That was always fun. By Lowe podium, and yeah, the Grinch Rarebit was in it, and he challenged me. He threatened me when I came out. He pointed at me, so I was like, you know what, we're having this. So we had a lot.
You've got to give me a link for this. Is this like a costume Royal Rumble? Someone dressed like the Grinch?
Oh yeah. So I was dressed as a Ghostbuster, but I'd written on the back Horsebuster and Cakebuster.
It was the Christmas.
I've got to see this on YouTube.
I'll give you the Facebook link. It was a Christmas Rumble. Very, very funny, very chaotic. Didn't really know what was going on. The ring announcer got involved. The DJ got involved. There was a Star Wars fight. Very creative, but really hard to keep up with.
That sounds actually like a bit of fun, alright. I do love Star Wars.
So TWA, we have a lot of fun with it. It's Jenny B and Jack Barron that run it, and along with Tom Barron, Jack's brother, and it kind of adds to your creative spark, because it's not a lot of the guys, such as Rarebit, we don't all do it necessarily just to wrestle. Like, they'll have fun matches without really getting any wrestling in it or whatnot. I think Rarebit actually went up to the bar and poured himself a pint and started serving people at the bar.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's always fun and games, but I being in the wrestling industry, I guess.
He did. He went behind the bar and started serving people. He's very creative, and he can be a monster. He can be the Rarebit, the monster, or he can be a complete comedy guy. So basically, he can do both, which I think is fun.
A bit like Big Show.
Yeah,
a bit like Big Show.
Well, Rarebit doesn't turn 50 times. Was it 52 times
I
Big
know,
Show
but like
turned?
the Big Show could do mean, or he could do comedy. So that's all I'm just trying to basically get at.
It's like Captain Insano.
Yes.
And the hardcore match I really enjoyed. I thought that was inventive. They went through 2 doors.
Yeah. That was a brutal match. I loved every second of it.
It must have hurt going through the doors.
Yeah, well, it came to the end of a brother feud, didn't it? Tom versus Jack, so it was always going to be a good match. That I think we'll just have to wait and see what transpires for the next show, which is, I believe, on the 11th of February.
And going back to LWF, last year started off well, but I don't think 2023 was your year, unfortunately.
I mean, it was my breakout year in the industry, so I can't really say that it wasn't my year. Fair enough, I didn't win loads of matches, but it's not all about that, really, is it? It's about getting each other over and making sure that the audience enjoy what they're watching. And from what I've done and what I've achieved during this year, especially when fighting like the Lancadors at LWF, and even going back to 2022 when I had my first match in November with Moonbear, it's just been a roller coaster of a year for me. It's I'm just pumped up to see what happens, what this year brings, and see where I can go from there. I believe I actually keep a note of my matches. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm pretty sure I had 20 matches last year. 19 matches I had last year. So for my first year in wrestling, I don't think I've done too bad. This year, I haven't actually set a goal of how many matches I want or anything. It's more been a case of just go out, see what I can do, entertain, and if I can get other bookings, brilliant. If not, it's just do what because I'm enjoying where I'm at. If the way I see it is, if I get bookings elsewhere, great. If I don't, I'm just going to do what I keep doing and enjoying what I'm doing. So,
do you want to actually go? Just stay with. Sorry. Do you want to stay with the UK for wrestling, or do you ever think about expanding into Europe or in, say, Ireland with OTT?
Oh, I'd go anywhere. It doesn't bother me that. So my tag team partner JD King, his first match was in Denmark. So he went to a training program over. I can't remember what the school's called off the top of my head, but he'd been with LWF for a bit, and he met Dan Evans through LWF, and Dan was doing a training camp over there. So he went out there and he did 2 matches over there, and then since then he's been booked on LWF shows since we've been back, which is where we've kind of started forming the brand. So we're in the middle of buying gear at the minute, so we can actually match, because I wear zebra print, he wears camouflage. So we're kind of going for the inspiration we've gone for is a kind of Jay White stroke the Guns look. So the idea was that we had the patches to kind of keep to our characters. I could keep my zebra print in the, like how the Guns have it with the what do you call it?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So the little bubbles of zebra print for me, and then the bubbles would be camo for him. But then we decided to try and take it away because what we'd originally said was having sparkly pants, like sparkly black pants. But we noticed the Guns had done that, and we were like, we kind of want to sway away from him a little bit. So we were like, you know what, we'll get something that kind of different. We'll go Jay White route and then have the patches done on them as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. We've only just ordered them, so they're not due to come to us till mid-March, but it's coming up for March.
My first look at you was the LWF Riot, Lancashire Riot Rumble last year, and I thought you came out as a great heel, getting heat from the crowd. Unfortunately, eliminated in seconds, but it is what it is, I guess.
And I was in there for a good couple of minutes. I said a good couple of minutes. I said my piece is what I wanted to do, and I got over what I wanted to say. I think that was supposed to be originally my first LWF show. Due to reasons backstage, I managed to get on earlier, which is why in the November of 2022 in December, Me and Moonbear had a bit of a skit, but it was kind of impromptu. So I think the Riot from them two shows, I didn't really have anything booked in until the Riot, and the idea was that because Paul, who's the owner of LWF, had seen me do a promo in promo class. On one of the classes where Franco Varga had taken it. He loved me speaking on the mic and knew that I could just kind of come up with stuff on the fly. So he was like, "This is what I want you to do, but you are getting eliminated first." And I was like, "You know what? I'll make the most of it, and we'll go with what happens."
Yeah, you certainly got heat. You were like,
"What's that? Sorry."
What would you say your style of wrestling is? Are you more ground-based, high flyer? Are you ground-based? Are you a high flyer? Are you?
I'd say I'm more of a brawler, to be honest. Someone asked me this question a couple of weeks ago, and I'm scared of heights, so I'm definitely not a high flyer. Although I am trying to incorporate some more jumpy moves, flashy moves into it. I want to do the Cody Rhodes where he steps onto the middle, steps onto the top, and then jumps out. I kind of want to do that.
Yeah. Oh.
Not had chance to try it yet because the show that we were supposed to be doing it on was Mutiny. I don't know if you were there, Ricky, when Maddie Morgan.
I try and get to Mutiny shows, but they seem just to sell out.
Don't mention Cody to Ricky.
Tickets just seem to go.
They're going to finish the story. Beat Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns sucks.
Don't believe me. I've had this argument with nearly every week with him. I have this debate with him nearly every week. That was the first thing we talked about when we launched this. So
fair enough.
But actually, speaking of WWE related, here's my question, Ryan. NXT UK, did it do good or bad for the UK wrestling industry?
Good question. I think personally, as in coming out of the end of it now, I think it's done good because it's established more people. People have started to pay attention to British wrestling a lot more. When it was around, maybe not, because of the fact that it kind of took the shine away from all the other promotions because no one really knew of any other promotions existing, bar maybe Progress and your Future Shock. But even then, you had to kind of be a hardcore fan. I mean, for me, I went to a Progress show in 2016, but we never really heard of anything up here. Never heard of Future Shock. I don't know if it's just because I'm around Ashton Way, because Future Shock's based in Stockport. But we never heard anything up until I started training. And then when I started training for Future Shock, then obviously more came out. I found out more, this, that, and the other. But then it was around the time that NXT UK shut down that I think I actually reached out to, and then I found more promotions and yada yada. So I'm the same. I was always been a wrestling fan, but I've been mainstream wrestling, so like WWE, and I watched TNA, and then it was obviously AEW came along. Ring of Honor, I never really knew about them until that's a lie. I'd heard of them, but I'd never really watched them up until obviously Tony took over. New Japan, I'd love to wrestle for him, but I don't really watch them. So I think all in all, the NXT UK has done good for the UK in the wrestling scene, but it's shut down.
I think it's got a lot of people noticed.
Do you think NXT Europe can rekindle that love for British wrestling or wrestling from Europe?
The thing that I see is this definitely happening, because I've heard rumors.
We're still waiting on, like, we've heard that it's just been held back since the acquirement from Endeavour got delayed because of that, but like I think it is still going ahead. Like right. They wanted to get Will Ospreay for it, but then he chose to sign with AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault him for that whatsoever. The opportunities that AEW afford people, and now I know they've got a very stacked roster, and the fact that it's one of them. Do you sign somewhere that's that stacked that you're not guaranteed shows? But I think the thing that AEW affords people rather than WWE is the fact that you can go to Rev Pro, he can go and wrestle anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's the deal Ospreay's got.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty much the same with everyone there. They have the opportunity to go wrestle anywhere. Whereas in WWE, obviously, I know they are starting to branch out a bit. I think they signed something with Noah at the minute in Japan.
They have,
Yeah, Charlie
Wrestling.
Dix is doing
Charlie
all
did that.
Japan, isn't he?
Yeah,
I know Shinsuke did something as well, didn't he?
The Great Muta's retiring tour.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm surprised. One thing that, like, with Andrade coming back, I'm surprised they didn't let him do his dates with GCW, and if he wanted to do a few shows with New Japan before he went back, but he didn't end up getting to do that. Like, he got to do some CMLs. He got to do some CMLL stuff with before he left AEW, but he wants to do a few shows with New Japan, and then he was supposed to work a show with GCW on the 12th of January, but he's pulled out of that now because we know he's going back to WWE.
Yeah.
So, like, I was surprised Triple H didn't let him commit to those dates before he makes his comeback.
I suppose it's depending on what he's got planned for him and the Royal Rumble as well.
Obviously, the Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the 27th. Which, speaking of the 27th, let me plug it before I forget. Hesketh Bank show.
Yeah.
Tag team title. I shouldn't really be telling you this yet. But nothing's been posted online. But I'm going to break the silence anyway. 27th of January. It's the Brand versus the Lankadors for the LWF tag team championships.
I do want to come to the Hesketh Bank show, but I'm going to a Rumble watch party that night. So that's one thing, and also they seem to sell out straight away.
It's the fact that you want to do that. It's the fact you want to do that quiz on the Rumble night show as well, isn't it, Ricky? I know your game.
I'm not too bad at the quizzes. So going back to LWF, aren't you the DJ? Not the DJ. You play the music there as well.
Not particular. Well, I do it when Martin. So Martin Curry is the DJ for a lot of wrestling promotions up north. So he does TWA, he does LWF. I just literally step in because I am a DJ and a singer out of wrestling. But for me, it's more I'll step in and if needs be. So if they need my gear, I can throw it up. Say that again, sorry, Paul.
What kind of music are you?
Bit of everything. So I'll do old school. I'll do Elvis, Motown. I'll do Robbie Williams. Robbie's like my hero. So Angels and Let Me Entertain You are my go-to, and Greatest Showman. The Greatest Show.
You could come out and sing a song off key, and that's how you get more heat.
You could do rock DJ for one of your entrances to the ring, and then do some stripping out of your skin and like make your own design of the costume you did for the video.
See, the issue is, and this is an argument that I've had with my brand member. My favorite song that I've come out to, Ricky will know it already, is "I'm So Humble" by The Lonely Island. That's the song that I had to come out to. It suits my character down to a T because it's talking about how I'm not humble. I'm not humble. I'm so humble when the character that I portray is not humble whatsoever. He thinks that he is deserving of everything. The idea is that I'm the savior of the LWF and that I'm here to take over, and the management is like an authority figure and I'm trying to stomp them out. When actually the guys that are management there are deserving of the titles that they've actually got.
Is Paul Mr. B, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm. So you've got Mr. B and Marathon Man, Mass Marauder. They are... Paul is Mr. B. Dave is the Marauder. Them
winning the titles. Sorry, them winning the titles back at the last show surprised me because Philly Michael, but Jack Barron only held the titles for like a month, didn't they?
Less than that. It was the 30th of December they won them, and they cheated to win. They used the tag team titles. Took Dave out. So they got a bit of a comeuppance when the Lankadors used the titles to actually take both of them out, and won the match that way. It was a nice.
And I believe the Brand is making their title debut soon.
Fingers crossed. We made the video for the New Year's Day video, should I say, which was they'd actually put up a post to ask for people to just post a 20-second video who were interested in working at title, who they'd like to fight. So we thought we'd introduce ourselves and just throw out and open challenge to whoever, because we want to take on everyone at the end of the day. We're not here to point out names. Lancadors is the easy one. I do apologise. My cat's crawling behind me.
Yeah, I'm going to say what's that.
So we want to take on all comers. So it's basically us opening up a few doors for ourselves, and because we are still a very new tag team, so we're just trying to do what we can to get our names out there now. So yeah, hopefully, touch wood, title will be coming soon.
I've been to Tidal, but I don't like the fact now you have to stand up watching the shows. It's a bit, you could sit down, but now because to fit more people in, you have to stand up.
They took the seating away from the staging area as well.
Where the wrestlers come out, they've got seats there, but on the other side, you have to stand up.
Yeah. First come, first serve. First come, first serve. I mean, we're talking about turning up. We're talking about turning up on the 13th of January. We're not booked for the show. We're just thinking about turning up in our brand merch, starting just to publicise ourselves. To be honest, it's a way to get ourselves exposure and show that we are committed. Huddersfield's only over the hill from me. It's about 40 minutes, 20 minutes on the train, if that. So it's something that I'm definitely looking at doing. It's because I went to uni there, and it's going to be a pleasure to eventually wrestle there. I can't wait.
Do you have your sights set on debuting for Future Shock?
I need to go back to training there, to be honest. I started my training there in 2021, as I said, and it's not that I've fallen out of love with the place. I just with work and I live on my own now. I've got dogs and cats, as you've just seen. I've got to kind of put the dogs in that first. So wrestling's, as much as I love my wrestling and stuff, LWF training on a Saturday is the one that I kind of go to, and I'll try. This year's my goal is to get back training there at least once a week. So we'll see what happens and go from there. Really.
Do you not feel?
What would you say? Sorry, what would you say to someone who wants to go out and make it in the British wrestling scene as something to start their career on? Say if they wanted to branch out a bit further.
Just be yourself. Be open. Be all the schools, all the training schools that I've been to. So I mean, I've been to LWF. I've been to Future Shock. I want to go to PPW in Sheffield. All the schools, all the guys that have trained me have been absolutely fantastic. They're so friendly, so welcoming, and they do everything they can to make sure that you feel comfortable. And I remember the beginners course at Future Shock. It was a 4-week course at the time. It's now 5 weeks. And they did like an icebreaker on the first day to kind of introduce everyone. So half of you would be doing stuff in the ring, and then they'd have half of you in a circle just doing an icebreaker. It was free, 2 truths, 1 lie, and you had to, it was just a good laugh. And all I'd say for the people that are wanting to do it is do it, give it a go. What's the worst?
But it's not a 9-to-5 job. Like you have to have a plan B as well to keep going to pay for the training.
Yeah, so definitely it's. I work full time. I finished at 9 o'clock tonight, just before coming on to speak to you guys. It is definitely. To make it in wrestling, it's you've got to put a lot in, and as much as you can throw yourself at it to become that level where you can afford to live off just wrestling, you've got to put a lot of dedication and hard work and years in. It's a business that you have to graft at in a nutshell, and I can't really say it's easy. It's you've got to be confident in yourself. You've got to know what you want. I've fallen really lucky in the LWF because of the fact that my promo skills were obviously noticed, that I managed to just go with my own character. I know companies can pick characters for you, whereas when you can do something that's truly you, it's like my character is just basically me amped up to 11. Well, without the egotistical bit. As much as I'm an egotistical sod on in shows, I'm actually probably one of the nicest people, or so I get told. I'm one of the nicest people to work. I'm there early to help set up. I'm there late to try and pack down. Nothing's too much trouble. I'll try and help people out. and it's just kind of having that mentality. If you can help people, for me, if you can help people succeed, regardless of in their moment, and get over with the fans, that to me is the most rewarding thing going. So the idea
And
of
plus have fun as well with it.
Oh yeah. So putting on a show and entertaining the fans and you having fun doing it is the most rewarding thing in the world. So
Sorry.
I have the goal of necessarily making it big time. As much as I'd love to, don't get me wrong, I think everyone would. It's, as I said earlier on, it's for me, if I wasn't to go any further than anywhere else in the UK and I just stayed at LWF, I'd be more than happy. For me, it's about entertaining the people that want to come and watch us, and putting on the best show that we can possibly put on for the fans that are there, and the people that watch online. So it's, yeah, I'm living my dream as it is at the minute. So I'm loving life.
And the thing you said of you have to be yourself, the volume turned up, but that's what the Rockers always said, is himself, the volume turned up. If you can't be yourself, and you can't be the character, I suppose, can you?
No, exactly. Well, the zebra print actually comes from. So my character is, when I started, I love LMFAO. So LMFAO are like one of my favorite bands from 2011. Whenever it was, I think it was 2016. They stopped touring. I think that might be a lie. I think it was earlier than that. But they were one of my favorite groups, and I loved the zebra print pants. And when I got the I actually bought some of the pants, the shorts, and stuff like that. So I actually wear zebra print in general. So when I say my character is just me turned up to 11, it literally, yeah.
That's the best way to go. And with the training, I've done a little bit of training with Joey Hayes, and do you remember Dave Rain?
No.
Years ago, great character, but he and Joey Hayes trained me, and just the warm-up killed me. I thought, oh, this is not for me. It was aching after. I just thought, I'll rather just go and sit and watch a show.
That's what training is. Like, you have to really stick at it. You'll be aching and paining, but you have to stick at it. Like, I do Kempo karate, and there is some days where the training is hard, but I still stick at it. Like, I go nearly every week.
Yeah. That's it. So I remember I did. So obviously you do your beginner's course. The difference between the beginner's course and the intermediate course at Future Shock is astronomical in the warm-up. So the beginner's course, it might be different now, but when I did the beginner's course, it was basically you just stretch out, get yourself in a bit of state of where you feel like you're warmed up and ready to go. When it got to the intermediates, it was with Sam, who's the head coach there. It was a 7-minute round, 1-minute round of exercises. You had a 20 seconds rest and then straight into the next one. With Ridgeway, it was more like you could do like a 52 card workout where you were just concentrating on maybe legs. And so after that, you were dead.
Chris Ridgway's training you there. That's cool.
I've not trained as much as I'd like with Chris, but he went to Japan for a while, so it was very much a case of when he was about, I'd try and book in, but again, it all fell kind of around my shift, so it was mainly when Sam wasn't available to do certain days, Chris would fill in for him, so that's when Chris had trained me.
His matches are very, very hard-hitting, brutal. Maybe it's a shoot, I don't know, but I saw a match with 2-Bit last year in Future Shock, and wow, they just laid into each other, and wow.
His matches with Sam Bailey are absolutely I think it's must-see TV, that, to be honest. Them two working together was absolutely brilliant. I've not seen the 2-Bit match, to be honest with you, but it's I know what Chris and 2-Bit are both like, so I imagine it could have been quite gruesome.
Here's a question. Here's a question for you. This will probably be my last one now. Who do you think is the standard barrier for British wrestling, past and present, that everyone tries to live up to?
Good question. I mean, for me, the person that I'd love to be on the same level as is Wade Barrett or Stu Bennett.
I've really got some bad news.
Yeah, he's just asked
Some bad news.
and he's I've not seen much of his work in the UK, but obviously being subjected to the WWE stuff, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Will Ospreay, he's probably as it stands at this moment in time, Will Ospreay is probably the guy, the UK guy, and probably the measuring stick for the UK. I think if anyone wants to, I mean, he's probably he's way above the measuring stick for the UK. But if anyone wants to kind of try and get anywhere near that kind of post, I think Ospreay's the guy to go for.
Or what about guys like Drew and Regal?
Regal back in the day, yeah, absolutely love Drew. Drew McIntyre, yeah. It's so hard to. But then there's also like your Becky Lynch and your
Finn Balor, Virgil Devitt.
Yeah.
Virgil Devitt.
So there's so many. I just love how British wrestling has now become a mainstay in American wrestling as well. That the guys that actually are featured over in America now is absolutely incredible.
You mentioned Progress. They do shows in America. I think they'll probably be doing shows WrestleMania weekend, I'm guessing. So
yeah.
Then you have also got like and you have Nick Aldis, and now you have Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
And now you have Nick Aldis, who was like gone from TNA, now as Magnus, from NWA now into WWE. And of course, like an interesting thing, a little show he was doing for a good few years is coming back this weekend.
Gladiators. You're a fan of Gladiators, Ryan?
I've not watched it in a very long time, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. Yeah.
Oh,
Wolf
the 90s one was the best. Like the one that came back from Sky One, that was having the likes of flipping. Do you remember Mason Ryan?
Oh, yeah.
He was on there as Oblivion, and then he went to WWE, and then
they
have like
Magnus. No, Nick Aldis was Oblivion.
Am I not right in thinking that Mason?
No, but there's another. Mason Ryan was somebody in it, but like
I can't listen to two people.
He wasn't Gladiators, yes.
Right, sorry, Ryan. What were you saying?
Isn't Mason Ryan now in a performer in what's it called?
In a circus, like Circus du Soleil, whatever it's called. Yeah.
I was never a fan of Mason Ryan, so I don't really follow him. I was never a fan.
But my favorite Gladiator was Wolf. I loved Wolf. Great character.
Wolf was my favorite male, and like Jet was the childhood crush of the 90s. Like if you put her there with the one who played Kimberly in the Power Rangers, then you had your two 90s crushes.
Okay, right, we're getting off subject here to our childhood crushes. But yeah, Gladiators back this weekend for anybody watching it. I'm
just saying.
Okay. Right, I spoke to you at shows, and Shawn Michaels is your favourite of all time. Do you take any inspiration from him in your matches?
I do. Between Shawn Michaels and Nick Nemeth, they are probably my two favourite wrestlers. I can't do a super kick. I don't intend to try and do a super kick, and too many people do super kicks. But you know what? Each to their own. But I'm not flexible enough to do a super kick, so I will not be doing them. The selling side of stuff, I take a lot from Dolph and HBK. I think they are probably two of the best sellers going in the business, and if I ever get to a sixth of what they are like, I'd be extremely happy.
Yeah, the Young Bucks have killed the super kick. What's your super kick after super kick after super kick? Ugh.
I think, you know what, the only thing that I think is being buried at the minute in wrestling, I don't even think it's a super kick. I think it's the fact that a finisher doesn't always finish a match. The amount of matches you have to hit 2 or 3 finishers. Just thinking, for example, of Cody with Brock Lesnar, and I know that's kind of the extreme where you'd want to hit more finishes on Lesnar, but the fact that one finisher isn't finishing a match anymore is
I didn't think of that. Yeah, he has to do that.
But you could say about but you could say it about there's some other wrestlers who use finisher after finisher, like they use a different
Oh.
People being like the Raw that was before.
His Wi-Fi
Gunther had
is
to
awful.
use and Gunther had to use array of different finishes.
Oh, his Wi-Fi is always frozen unless he's pausing for a picture. You said that you met Dolph Ziggler at some point, Ryan. What was he like? Was he a nice guy?
In 2016, yeah, he was a really nice guy from what I remember. He was in a toy shop, and it was just lucky that we managed to sneak up. So we'd gone over to Dallas for WrestleMania 32, and we'd done a few of the accesses at WrestleMania. I think we did 3 of them in total. We did the Monday Night Raw, and that week I can't remember what day it was. We weren't doing anything anyway. We'd seen a tweet online that he was at this toy shop. I think it might have been Smith's or something like that, and we were just like, you know what, we've got to go and get a signature off him. So
you have to take those.
Whilst we're here, I'll show you the.
Oh, is that from WrestleMania? Did you do the Hall of Fame as well, or did that interest you?
No, I wasn't interested in that, to be honest.
That's brilliant.
At the access, is it queuing for hours and hours to meet whoever, or is it fairly quick?
So it's fairly quick. There was queues, so it was kind of. Have you been to For the Love of Wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, but obviously everything's paid for in your one ticket. And it was, had I known at the time, I'd have bought VIP tickets, maybe just on the one, because you got the VIP queues obviously jump straight to the front. But it was quite quick, and unlike For the Love of Wrestling, they changed, like they kind of did shifts, so it may have been like 3 hours of one person, and then they swapped out to say whoever. So it was a matter of try and get around the people who you wanted to meet, and then hope that the next lot, the guys that you wanted to meet were out there as well.
Did you have a chance to meet anybody last year at Love of Wrestling?
No, I didn't go. I was
you were there. Okay, were you there for Progress? Not Progress. Was it Progress?
So it was the year before that I worked. I actually worked part of Future Shop. We volunteered to help out, look after the guests, and I got a picture with Mickie James and Trish Stratus. And Trish was like, it was last minute. So Trish was like, "Oh, we're on Ryan time, are we?" I was like, "Yeah, we are."
Do you get starstruck around stars, or are they just like, well, they're just people? If that makes any sense.
If I've got a crush on them, maybe. If not, it's just another person.
I've met him. He's like
Mickie James and Trish Stratus.
They're frozen again. For Love of Wrestling last year, Bray Wyatt had a huge queue. Sting had a massive queue, and Kurt Angle couldn't even do his Q&A thing. The queue was that big. So, have you ever had a chance to meet Shawn Michaels or not?
Oh, I wish. No, I haven't. I went to his. What do they call it? Inside the Ropes? Is it called? Where they do the talk.
I went there, and
but at the time I couldn't afford to buy tickets where you got to meet and greet, so I just bought the actual seated tickets. Gutted, but I was going to put my hand up and ask him to sign my tattoo. But obviously no one actually asked me if I wanted to ask a question, and I was pretty certain that we were going to say no anyway. So it is what it is.
Two things. I did get lucky enough to meet him, but he was very much like quick. It was sign this, take a picture next. It was like, for somebody like you, Feezy, you're here and you're meeting him, and it's just next. Like, ugh.
I may get starstruck trying to meet Shawn Michaels. That is one person I probably would do, because
anyone would get starstruck meeting Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And the question of sign my tattoo, that's the kind of the question I would ask. Like, people ask at Love of Wrestling, ask these great questions that take minutes to answer, 5 minutes to answer, and I'd ask and say, "What's a rat like?" And just be a mark and say, "What's a rat like?"
but that's not really like doing the wrestler any favor. Like, because I remember years ago, I was listening to a radio interview with Sheamus, and everyone wanted to ask more about John Cena than Sheamus, and he didn't sound happy there.
Well, yeah, that makes, yeah, I kind of get it. You're doing a radio thing about you, and then you end up talking about your opponent.
Yeah, there's like Sting at Love of Wrestling. You say, forget Sting. I want to know about whoever.
Yeah, tell me about Darby, Sting.
Yeah, I don't want to know about you. Tell me about Darby Allin.
Yeah, or if you meet Seth Rollins, hey Seth, tell us about Becky Lynch. Yeah, he's
No.
never
No, tell me about Roman Reigns. So what are your big plans for this year? Other than getting to as many promotions as you can, do you have your sights set on any gold in the brand?
Well, of course we do. Tag team, we're here to take over. The brand is here. We've put a mission statement out, which is basically the mission was exactly the same as last year. It's to take over. The brand are going to go up and down the UK wherever we can get to, and we're there to dominate. We're there to take over and take whatever we can in place. We want to take over every promotion. We want to make sure that people know who the brand are, and we are going to start bringing out bait T-shirts, brand ambassadors in training, which will be kind of like the superhero in training T-shirt, but it will say bait.
That was an awful T-shirt. Awful T-shirt with what it spelled to the initials.
So
not a good idea.
I'm not sure when we're actually bringing these T-shirts out, but we have got T-shirts in the work, and it's something that we are talking about doing. But I think the initial thing is to get the gear sorted, and then we'll go from there. JD King, my tag team partner, it's technically his debut. It'll be his full first year this year. So the idea is that we'll get ourselves on LWF, make sure that we're progressing there, and then from there, hopefully start getting bookings elsewhere. We're just going to literally start getting our name out wherever we can and making sure that we're getting posted on socials and whatnot to make sure that people are interacting with us in a positive way. Well, yeah.
And like I said, the 8-man match was, you were good in that. Your tag team partner was good in that, and the curb stomp on Clash outside the ring, I thought was impressive.
Yeah, I'm gutted, because there's no footage of that. Absolutely gutted. There's no footage of that because it's one of the best stomps. We do so basically. We do a tag team finish where my partner lifts them up in a wheelbarrow position. I queue up and do the curb stomp, and he goes down with them at the same time to kind of add insult to injury.
Great finish.
Wheelbarrow position. How do you do a wheel? How does the human body do a wheelbarrow position?
In the wheelbarrow, everyone knows how to do a wheelbarrow. Legs between the around the hips, lift.
So, like, would you do a dive from a wheelbarrow?
What's that, sorry?
Would you do a dive from somewhere? Like, say if you're in a form of a cage match, would you get a wheelbarrow and do a dive from it?
I mean, we could do, but it's not a.
Like you could,
that's not the kind of wheelbarrow we're talking about here.
Taking a page from EO Sky and War Games. Find a way to get a wheelbarrow, put yourself in it, and then dive.
Oh no! All right. No. He with a wheelbarrow move, his opponent lifts him up, and then he curb stomps them. So you they're lifted up like that. They're the presence like that on the head.
Oh, like with your foot, like a bulabusk, like with your foot.
But
he's thinking gardening tools.
I'm happy to incorporate some gardening tools into it. Yeah, it should be fun.
That's what he was thinking, like an actual wheelbarrow.
Let's take it to the streets, or should we say to the garage?
So if you do go on the title shows, are you looking forward to that? Like you say, you're going to be there and get the word out there, which I think is a great idea. So if you can get on the shows, are you looking forward to it?
Well, yeah, because it's I went to university in Huddersfield, so for me, going back to Huddersfield and actually wrestling in front of the place that I absolutely love, it's like my second home. I'd be absolutely ecstatic to do it. So it's something that I definitely want to do, and I was gobsmacked, to be fair, because we were sat there. They released 4 videos in total for the New Year's Eve show, end of year review, and what clip that we were on. So the first two came on New Year's Day, and we were on them, and I was like, "Oh, getting nervous," and then the third clip came on the second, and I was like, "Right, okay," because they originally said they were posting 2 more the following day. So the third one came on the second, and then the fourth one didn't show up, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think we've made the cut." And then when I got the tag on Twitter, on X or whatever it's called now, on the third, and we were literally the last promo on the video. It was like the best place for us to be, really, because it's the one that you'll remember.
Definitely, yeah.
Being last on someone's clip is one that people remember. That's that we've kind of got noticed from, because we've got no footage out there really, because the show that we actually the Mutiny show that we originally debuted on, where we actually did a really good match, didn't get recorded because the angle of the camera had fallen. So we kind of ran with that a little bit and started blaming LWF, saying that they couldn't even get the footage recorded of an international megastar and Mr. Indie Wrestling. And it kind of worked to our characters. And so for us to get potential booking for Tidal just off a 20-second promo has been absolutely astronomical. We must have done something right.
And you're definitely right in that. Yeah, the last, because you're not going to really remember the first video, but you're definitely going to remember the last one. That's the memory you're going to have.
So we must have done something right, and you know what? If we get booked, I'm all for it.
They are a good. I've been to a few of their shows. I like them, but I don't like the fact you have to stand up. Yeah. So they're a good company to wrestle at, I would imagine. And is that your cat in the background again? What are your cats? How many cats have you got? Is it 2 or just the one?
It's doggo now.
Dog.
Yeah, it's a dog.
I was trying to say to you, I think your cat is right behind you. He's climbing up behind.
What's your cat called?
So we've got Patches and Misty. I don't know where Patches has gone. This is Milo, who's on my knee at the minute.
What's he called?
Milo.
She or he? Milo.
Yeah, he's from Corfu. He's a little legend, yeah.
He's from Corfu. Is he like a rescue dog or no?
Yeah, he's a rescue dog. Well, I say he's a rescue dog. He did have a family, but he was going to be used for ratting. So we've definitely given him a better life out here, back here, should I say? So, but he's a softie, so he's a proper baby. He wouldn't have coped doing ratting.
I've got a Staffy. It's now currently chewing its its bedding because it's still a baby, I think, and I think it's been took away from its mum way too early because it chews it like a blanket, like a baby. And so lovable as well. That's a rescue dog, and well, it's just what people do to animals is just horrible and horrendous, and they should be shot. But that's another thing for another video.
Yeah, let's not talk about animals. I could go into a whole rant about it, so let's not.
No, I know.
So you've got the show on the 27th. What other bookings have you got? Is that the only one you've got coming up?
So we've got. I'm not confirmed for TWA yet. I have got the date saved of the 11th of Feb. I don't know if they don't usually tell you if you're doing anything until close to the time. They just tell you to save the show. So I'm assuming I'll be doing something. Probably getting stomped in cake at some point. We shall see. To be honest, I actually really enjoy it. It adds a little bit of excitement to everything, and who doesn't like cake? You know what I mean? But I've got the. Let me have a look. The 27th of January is LWF Hesketh Bank, where I'm facing the Lancadors for the tag titles. I've then got a show on the 2nd of February for the LWF, which is in Broughton Rugby Club.
Is that in Chorley?
No, that's in Manchester.
Might come along to that. You might probably come along to that then. No, it's in. Well, I can't. It's Love of Wrestling.
For what on the 2nd of Feb?
No.
Love of Wrestling is March.
March. Oh yeah, so February is the second. Okay, I might come to that then. Yeah, we'll see.
Friday the 2nd of Feb. Then I've got a TWA on the 11th of February. Mutiny 15 on the 18th of February. And the Riot is then on the 2nd of March.
Have you tried to get yourself on the Wrestle Island show, or is Liverpool, Birkenhead a bit too far away?
Someone reached out to them not long ago, and they were concentrating on the guys that train with them, which I completely agree with and understand. I've wanted to go down to train with them. It's just the only day that I could really go is a Sunday, and I kind of leave Sundays unless I'm doing like wrestling shows for my dogs, because I want to make sure that I'm an animal person, as you can tell. So that is kind of my dedication to the Dogs Day, where we just do whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I've been to Wrestle Island, and again, we've got shows. I've got no complaints from me really. Have you wrestled Tyler Adams before?
No.
He had a hardcore match, and that was pretty brutal. But
one match, I think one of my favorite matches that I've actually done is when Wrestle Island. So Tommy Adams did a show for epilepsy. It was a charity show in December for the Epilepsy Society, and it was called Wrestle Story. So I started training with him at Future Shock, and he got injured and found out he couldn't continue, unfortunately. So he wants to move into like a managerial role. So he decided he was going to do a show, and he got in touch with me and said, "Can I use your like DJ gear and whatnot?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course you can." And he was like, "I want to book you in a match against Tony Wright." Now Tony Wright is one of the big up and comers in the UK at this moment in time, and he's, as far as, is it Wrestle Island or Atomic that he's just become champion of? I think it's Atomic.
I think he's championing UBW or whatever they're called now. I don't know if you've heard of that company.
UBW, yes. Is he? I swear he did not win the title at Atomic as well. Recently, I can't remember. But we had one of. So for me, that was like my Hogan Rock match. There's a picture of us both standing face to face in the ring before the actual start of the match.
Like the Rock and Hogan.
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't the look where you could turn your head because you're that close to each other. It was just opposites.
Or like Rock and Cena. Or like Rock and Cena at WrestleMania 38.
Yeah.
No, Rock and Hogan was like that like electricity. Anyway.
It was one of them moments where it was like, it was a dream come true match. It was something that I've always wanted to wrestle him since I started training, and it was just one of them matches that, to be honest, it was probably one of the best matches that I've had so far to date. So I cannot complain whatsoever.
He seems to have come a long way. Unfortunately, he's injured now. I think he broke. He said he was meant to wrestle on the last Future Shock show, and he said he's broken his ankle or something. He's out for a while, but he has come a long way, winning titles, and didn't he do something with Mick Foley as well? I think.
Yeah, he did a promo with Mick Foley. Yeah. But that'll hopefully be my 2024, starting to put some gold on this waist.
Yeah, get some gold in the brand. And speaking of gold, I'm going to break the news now. Ian holds gold, and Ian has it. I think wants to go on a Roman Reigns run. Hasn't defended it for a while. He holds a quiz championship.
Oh, I know where he's going with.
So Ryan, if you're interested, I can.
I'm always on the lookout for new competition.
We can.
If you want to challenge, I can get you back on at some point. Well, and I'll also even help you by. I'll do a Shawn Michaels round and a Dolph Ziggler round. So hopefully you can take the title away from Ian, and there we go.
Cheeky, you're not supposed to take sides.
Okay. Well, do you not know about Ian? Do you not know about Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler? I thought you knew everything about wrestling.
There you go. The thing is, Ricky knows that everybody stands with the brand.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna have to get my own Irish brand. I'm gonna join an Irish brand.
All right, when we come over, when we're wrestling for what was the promotion? Sorry, was it
OTT?
OTT. Over the top. There's a few of them anyway, but like,
oh yeah, I've
over
heard
the top.
Yeah,
over the top was the brand that. Sorry,
was it them that had Enzo there not long ago?
They had Enzo. They've had John Moxley. They've had Pac. They've had Eddie Kingston. Devitt was there when he was injured in 2016. Do you remember after he won the Universal title?
Yeah.
Of course, it was also the brand that started JD McDonough, Jordan Devlin at the time. Lyra Valkyrie started there. Gunter was the champion there for a while. British Strong Style competed there as well.
Fair, yeah. I saw when was it? Enzo was there just over Christmas.
Yeah, he was there. He was there.
We had the Rascals there, the Rascals as well, I think.
Yeah, the Rascals were there. Well, though two of the Rascals were there because Wesley would never be able to go there now. So
he's injured anyway. Even if he wasn't injured, he wouldn't be able to go.
Ospreay was there as well.
Yeah. I think who was Enzo wrestling? I can't remember. I remember seeing a video for it, and I was like, oh, I'd love to go to that, but it was in Belfast.
Oh, you see, Enzo. I never liked Enzo Morway. He was a mout.
Oh, he was. But I met him at. I met him at the WrestleMania Access. The three people that I remember meeting were Dolph Ziggler, but that weren't at Access. Enzo, who was really nice, and Nia Jax, who's one of the nicest people you could ever meet.
I suppose she doesn't like the stick she's getting, but she is actually starting to improve. She's actually started to improve a good bit this year. Like the match with Becky at day one, and then the stuff with Rhea. So
yeah,
there is a bit of improvement.
That's what you want when you're meeting wrestlers. You want them to be nice. You want them to be.
You do. You know what? Well, they're getting good money for it. Like I've met the Shield before, when in 2013 in their early days.
The only person that I've met that was anywhere not nasty, but not nice, was Vader. And I was paying for autographs, and he just said to the helper, "I'll put the money in my hand," rather than. So that was all he really said, but he just felt miserable to meet anyway. But that's the only bad experience I've had meeting wrestlers. Apart from that,
if you play in a character, so like just for example MJF, I know he had a bit of a character.
Oh yeah, he'd be
for love of wrestling. He was absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that to kids. He was. Were you there? He was.
Yeah. I was. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like taking figures and throwing them, or taking a pen and throwing it. And he took someone bought a Flammy Award, and he took it off them. And it's like, you can't be doing that.
I've kind of wanted to do something similar with my character, because you get people obviously after the shows that want to come and take pictures with you, and you're in your normal gear, and you're not in your wrestling gear at this point, and you want to be nice. Obviously, you just want to say hi to everyone because
it's for sure.
Yeah, like he'd actually.
I've always debated going. You can have two pictures, but one of them's to keep. The other one is what you've got to post, and I wanted to kind of do the whole MJF walking away from the picture or giving him stick or blah 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 blah.
That's a good idea. Posting you have to post a picture.
He'd be one of two people you'd love to meet at a convention and see them in character. It'd be if it was the idea for that. Like if you could have two people at a wrestling convention to meet and they stick in character, it would be him and let's say LA Knight.
Yeah, MJF.
Chris Jericho. I mean, there's a lot of controversy with Chris Jericho at the minute, but I still love the guy.
Yeah.
It's but he's one of the people that, as a bad guy, would be the guy that wouldn't sign autographs for fans and this that, and the other because he was in character, and I actually respect that in a way, because so for me with LWF, I when I first started, people had this impression of me that I was such a bad guy in real life because of the fact that the way I play my character, people couldn't differentiate the truth from reality.
I've actually got one more person that would probably suit those conventions in character. One more person, Christian Cage.
Christian has
done it. Christian did the first one.
I let you sign autographs if you give me your mom's number.
And speaking of autographs and stuff, JBL has always said, When Jimmy was heel, he didn't want people buying his merch because why would you want to buy? Why would you want to buy a heel? Why would you want to buy a merch or get their autograph if they're heel? If they're doing their job properly, they should be hated, and you want nothing to do with them.
He'd be a right bollocks to me, I'd say.
No, I've met him. Nice guy. He did love a wrestling. Nice guy.
But
I was fumbling a bit starstruck. I was like, oh, sorry about this. He went, oh, it's fine.
So you're saying why would you want to meet a bad guy and get their merch?
If they're doing the job properly, yes.
I mean,
yeah,
no,
but bad guys are interesting. Because bad guys are interesting.
And
if you met,
just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean that you don't have fans.
Yeah, I mean,
true. I
mean, outside of wrestling, if you met someone like James Earl Jones or Robert Patrick or Joaquin Phoenix, who've all played three iconic villains, you'd still want an autograph from them.
Yeah, but that's okay. Wrestling's playing a character, but true.
I'm talking
true.
about movie stars outside of wrestling. I'm talking about movie stars.
True. A wrestler's got to leave the character at home, and unless you're Ric Flair, and don't live your character. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's included, and that goes for movie stars as well. Like I was just saying, people like James Earl Jones or Robert Patrick or Joaquin Phoenix or Christoph Waltz. They've played iconic villains, and you'd still want to meet them because you love the character.
So, Ryan? What are your thoughts of WWE in 2023, 2024? What are your favourite storylines? And are you looking forward to the year that they're going everywhere this year? Are you looking forward to that?
I'm going to say something that's going to upset you now.
Not by Roman Reigns.
It's technically about Roman Reigns. Well, it is about Roman. LA Knight beat him. LA Knight beat him. He should have the run that he was on, the streak that he was on, the if anyone was going to top Roman Reigns, it should have been LA Knight.
There was a moment that I thought he was going to do.
I don't think The Rock will do it. Whether it means that they're trying to keep the rivalry going. Shush. Bear with me 1 minute. Let me just shut the dogs.
Yeah, that's fine. What was it? Yeah, there was a moment that I thought LA Knight was going to do it. For a second, I thought they could give him the title.
We all did. It was the same with a lot of people.
And that's the beauty of a Roman Reigns match. You're actually questioning it. Yeah, there's doubt every single time. There's doubt. If Cody, going back to the Cody thing, Cody's going to hold that for a while. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
Even in your doubt that Cody faces whoever is going to be, Cody's definitely winning. You have to go, could this be where he leads?
But if it's anybody, like as fans, as I've said before, it won't feel the same unless it's done through Reigns, because Reigns beat him. Cody needs to get his moment back for the villain to get his comeupping. That's how the story ends. That's how every story ends, is if the villain gets his comeupping. Because I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about, because when we were covering NXT earlier on, one thing you didn't cover was the Fallon Henley, Tiffany Stratton.
Oh yeah, that was good. Well, I glossed over that. Fallon Henley. Oh my god.
Now,
oh my god.
I was listening to an American podcast, and this chap, he was saying, like, ever since Tiffany lost the title to Becky Lynch, she's been ruined, and now they had this angle. And I was pointing out that she is a villain, and every villain in a story gets their comeuppance. And, like, it was a stuck-up Barbie getting her comeuppance from a working-class girl.
I really enjoyed that storyline, to be fair, and I'm so glad Fallon Henley won.
Yeah, that's how a story ends.
Only Tiffany Stratton can look that hot in a farm. Like, oh my god.
Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I think LA really toppled Roman Reigns. I enjoyed 2023 in I was going to say LWF then in WWE. But I think the bloodline stuff is getting boring now. It should have come to an end when Jay and Jimmy and all that they had the whole thing. The fact that they brought Jimmy back in, it's just
makes no sense.
Like they're trying to just tug on strings that they just don't need to do anymore.
Well, I think so. Do you think 2024 will be the end of the bloodline?
I hope so.
I think it has to end at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't think it will though. I don't think it's going to end until SummerSlam because of the fact of the Hulk Hogan run.
But what if they say to themselves, yeah, there is that factor that they want to extend it up to Hogan. But what if they say, we can't go any further than this? I think we're just going to have to let whoever is Cody or Vlad take the belt from Roman, and then someone else can break Hogan's reign.
It's never going to happen. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to see anything like this ever again. Never.
Well, maybe not
ever.
for a few years. Not for a few. Well, maybe not
never.
now when Cody gets the belt, but
never. I don't think it's going to be to surpass his reign.
It's like the Seth Rollins thing on Raw as well now because he's not been pinned since January last year. It's again that's getting too long for me now. I think they need to put the title on someone else.
I enjoy Seth. Look, I've always been more of a Seth fan than I like both, but if I had to choose between one, I would choose. I've always chosen Seth Rollins. I've always preferred Seth Rollins as a wrestler to Roman. Like, and I'm enjoying his reign, but like, no, it's not going to happen now because we're coming close to I think for the title now. So
yeah,
I think Punk will beat him at Mania. To be honest,
I'm half like Punk could beat him. That's fine, yeah, but there's still a few outside factors with Seth Rollins. And I was saying this to Ricky last week on the first episode. There are two outside factors as well with regards to the title, like because you have Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank. I think he's cashed in at or after WrestleMania, and then Rollins gets a bit of time off to sign his contract. Then you probably put the belt back on Seth then, and then you have Seth drop it to Gunter at Berlin.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So I think Punk has time. Like he's only on. I'd say he's on a part-time contract, like Roman, Brock, and Cena now. So there's still time for him to win it.
My issue with the whole Punk thing is, like, I wasn't that bothered when Punk turned back up at WWE. I think he kind of became a bit of a poison in AEW, to be honest. And as much as I used to love CM Punk, I loved him in AEW. When he turned up in WWE, I was like, "Oh right, okay." I just hope that he proves me wrong, that he doesn't spit his dummy out when it doesn't go his way, and he just leaves again. Because
I think it's also Tony Khan tries to be people's friends rather than a businessman. There is that as well. He's a mark, and he's an idiot. He's a clown. So there's all that.
He is such a great entertainer, and he's absolutely phenomenal on the mic. And I kudos to him for what he's done and whatnot. But I just think that the way he's acted, going from AEW back to WWE, he slagged WWE off chronic in AEW, and then he jumped ship as soon as he spat his dummy out at AEW, and they were like, no more. He's just gone and done what?
Speaking of the dummy, I wonder where I saw that earlier on today.
Me, constantly. I do that constantly. But going very quickly before we finish up, going to the Damian Priest thing, this is my idea. I don't know. Let's see if Ryan agrees, thinks it's a good idea. Rock reigns at Mania. You have The Rock. The Rock has said he wants it to be bigger than just a match. You have The Rock win. On Raw, he comes out and says, I beat you, Reigns, but that's not enough. They set up the match for Rock Reigns on Raw. Reigns comes out, spears him. Priest cashes in on The Rock. You've just made Priest. What do you think about that?
So say that again. So Rock's going for the title at Mania.
Rock beats Reigns at Mania. Challenges Reigns again on Raw. And they set up the match, and you think the match is happening. Reigns comes out, spears him, leaves him, and Priest cashes in on The Rock.
That won't happen on Raw.
That's a bad idea, I think. I was saying that will devalue the title. He's saying
the biggest movie star in the world will devalue the title. Yeah, he's had it for 30 seconds. He's the biggest movie star in the world.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he's only holding the title for 24 hours. He's a money magnet. Yeah, I know. Hang on. I know. Yeah, okay, yeah. He's bringing in the money. He brings in the attention. I'm not saying that's not the problem. Is he's a 50-year-old wrestler who's just after ending the longest reigning, probably the greatest title reign of modern times, and then he loses 24 hours a day to a spear and a cash-in. That devalues the title.
How do you make Priest apart from The Rock?
Yeah,
See,
but you could also make Priest by having him cash in and beat Roman Reigns. But the only way that you're going to make someone the only way you're going to make someone by beating Roman Reigns is if you have Roman lose clean, no money in the bank, no stipulation. You have him lose clean. You have him lose clean to Cody, and Cody carries it with a rocket up his arse for the rest of the year.
See, so I disagree with both of you. I disagree with both of you. So, and I
Cody's not a draw, though.
And I'm going to go back to the streak-ending match with Lesnar and Undertaker. Now, I know Undertaker had said that originally he wanted Lesnar to beat him for the streak. And because of the fact that at the time, I was still adamant that the wrestling was real. And when Shawn Michaels got retired by Taker, I hated The Undertaker. I hated The Undertaker. I've wanted him to lose the streak for a very long time.
And you got what you wished for.
But did I think that so before I answer the question of Roman Reigns, did I think Brock Lesnar should beat The Undertaker? No, because Brock Lesnar did not need that push. They needed to give it to someone, and this is where it'll link back to Roman Reigns, that's an up-and-coming superstar. So, for example, LA Knight, I know he's established all over the world, but in WWE, he's still an up-and-coming superstar. He had the momentum so well, and to have him beat Reigns would have elevated him to the next level. Well, I say the next level. He didn't really need to go to the next level, but he was the guy that would have been the next John Cena in a nutshell if Reigns had lost. So going back to the Undertaker thing, I don't know, if they decided that at the time that Matt Cardona was going to be the next it thing, they should have put, say, him to go over the Undertaker, and then it'd elevate him to a level that would take him to the promised land of WWE. Whereas they decided to give it to someone that didn't need it in Brock Lesnar, which if they do that at WrestleMania with The Rock, personally, I think it's stupid. As much as I'd like to see The Rock kick Roman Reigns' ass, who wouldn't? Because it's another Rock moment at WrestleMania like we had with Austin and Kevin Owens last year. But I just don't.
2 years ago, actually.
The Rock it wasn't last year or the year before. I don't think The Rock needs it. WWE needs to be really smart with how the book whoever goes over Reigns. Like you said, Ian, they need to go over clean. They need to go over irregardless of the fact that they've been attacked by Jimmy Solo or whoever comes out and tries to save them. Whereas this is why I go back to the LA Knight thing. I think the only person logically that could do is LA Knight. Unless you're going to bring someone in from NXT and have them, like, just for example, Bron Breakker, because he's one of the guys that is a meathead, and they are trying to build him into that picture of being the top guy.
You could have Oba.
Or Oba, yeah, but he's literally only just come in on this, so I think it's a bit too soon. But if whoever, basically what I'm saying is whoever comes in needs, what WWE should do, in my opinion, is book the next big thing to beat Roman Reigns rather than have The Rock beat him.
And definitely shouldn't be Cody.
I don't think it should be Cody, no. I think Cody should win the title, but I think he should win the world title. He's not on SmackDown. The only way he's going to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania is if he wins the Royal Rumble. I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble.
No, he won't. That'll be CM Punk. If Cody wants to get to Roman, they're going to give him the Elimination Chamber.
Because the money is Rock Reigns. You're not going to do Rock Reigns Cody. You can do that anytime over the Rock and Reigns, I would imagine.
But the thing about having Reigns and Rock main event as well, the problem is that one, you have three part-timers featuring in two WrestleMania main events with only one full-time talent, that being Seth Rollins. Two, both superstars go away after WrestleMania. Who has to carry SmackDown then? And three, what does that say to the full-time talent that's there after Mania when you have three part-timers going into the two big main events in WrestleMania and only one full-timer? That kind of insults them, especially.
Well, it's not The Rock's fault. Not The Rock's fault. He's a bigger star than anybody on the roster, is it? It's his fault.
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. What I'm saying is that'd be management's fault then, because they're having to bring in 3 part-timers to main event your biggest show. What does that say for the full-time
4
talent?
part-timers if Logan Paul's still a champion at that point as well.
And
he'll be there.
Lesnar.
No, he'll be still champ. Yeah, they'll be there. They'll be in matches, but they won't be main eventing. Like you could
it's still WrestleMania itself, and it's itself the card's a main event, isn't it? Really?
So
if they put Logan Paul in it as well.
Yeah, but like with the part-timers, they'll be used to put the full-timers over.
But
Because like you have Logan Paul versus LA Knight and Brock Lesnar versus Gunter.
The Rock would make more money for Mania main event than the whole roster play ever going to make, and more interest than they're ever going to get.
But like, is it worth ending the biggest WrestleMania, the big zero WrestleMania,
for the biggest movie star in the world?
Retains for 4 years.
So I heard something that it's only a rumor, obviously. I think it was a fan theory. And I thought, you know what, that if they're going to do it, it'd be a good way to do it. Have Rock and Reigns open WrestleMania. Have Reigns beat The Rock, and then to main event the last show, have Cody versus Roman Reigns.
Go on, say it again. Sorry, because the team froze up on me.
So Roman Reigns versus The Rock to start WrestleMania on the Saturday. So you're getting a massive
I heard that.
debut, and then Reigns would go over The Rock, and then have Cody versus Roman to finish the show.
That's what I said. That's what I've been hearing as well.
The biggest drawing match they could possibly do goes on first. People turn off because nothing's going to equal it. That's me turning off, mate. That's me turning off Mania.
It is though, isn't it? Everything's going to equal it. It's WrestleMania at the end of the day. Seth Rollins and CM Punk's just going to be as
Rock Reigns is the biggest match they could possibly do ever, possibly.
Because if they open up night 1, you still have to keep CM Punk happy and give him the main event spot because you've gone
level below the Rock. Level below the Rock.
But hang on, but it took them. It'll be 10 years this year since he left, and they went through all the trouble to get him back after he left AEW, after everything that happened, and they still have to keep him happy by giving him.
If I'm a casual fan watching Mania and Rock Reigns goes on first, I'm not watching the rest because nothing's going to equal it. Nothing's going to be as big. That's your headline.
You've also got to take into account that The Rock said that CM Punk could never have as many views as him on social media, and CM Punk's the most viewed social media thing on WWE.
Yeah. And another thing to remember as well is when you're doing a wrestling podcast channel, you'll have to cover every match and analyze it.
Yeah.
Because your people, your supporters want to know what you think about it. Whether you don't like this or that, you still have to cover it. You have to be professional. It's
I'm sorry, guys. I tuned out after the Rock and Roman Reigns, so the people are going to be like, "Well, we're going to tune out of you as well."
Yeah.
I think I'm a casual fan. Which I'm not a casual fan. If I was, off it goes. Because what's more interesting than Rock Reigns? Nothing.
Dave Meltzer doesn't say, "Oh, there goes Rock and Reigns. I'm out of here."
Yeah, but he's again a hardcore fan and watched wrestling for 30, 40 years, and
but if you're going,
I'm saying a casual fan, WWE's audience, because they know the hardcore fans are watching no matter what.
Or what they could do, because. Yeah, let's be honest. I think Rock and Reigns is going to happen at WrestleMania. The only other way they could do it is have it a triple threat match. It takes away from the match itself of Rock and Reigns, but they could have it as a triple. Or if Priest was to cash in on that match, part way in.
Cash it in on The Rock.
It wouldn't be on The Rock, would it? It'd be on.
No, it's going to be between Seth and Punk. I think it's going to be. I think either Seth retains or it goes into a situation like Reigns and Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, with Priest cashing in between.
That's what I mean for Rock and Reigns.
Because
it could happen with Punk.
You make Priest a heel. You make Priest super heel.
What is that noise? Stop fiddling with that. Stop fiddling. That's noisy.
No, I'm not fiddling with anything.
Or somebody's making well, let's Darth Vader's just joined the stream. Somebody's making a noise.
Or somebody smokes 40 Marlboro a day.
That'd be Darth Vader trying to invade us.
No, but like
anyway.
if you want to get people talking after Rock versus Reigns, if it starts night 1, you have Priest cash in during Rollins and Punk, spoiling the match so neither wins, making it a late triple threat. He pins either Punk or Rollins, gets the title. And that will get people talking about night 1.
For me, no, nothing equals Rock Reigns. Nothing's bigger. The Rock's the biggest movie star in the world. All of that. If I'm a casual fan, I'm turning off after I've watched that.
The main question, is the main question that I want to ask. Forget WrestleMania. Is MJF turning up at the Royal Rumble?
I think he stays with AEW.
I think possibly not. No.
I don't think we're going to see him back in AEW. I think he'll sign for AEW. Do I think he's signed yet? I don't know, because I think they're going to try and work something in where he'll get a Rumble appearance.
But would the fans know who he is? Most WB fans have no idea what AEW is.
I mean, if they're living under a rock, then yeah, but
there's a thing called the internet. There's a
most
thing called the
internet. You need to Google somebody, they're not a star. Do you need to Google David Beckham? Do you need to Google Tom Cruise? No, because they're stars. Do you need to Google The Rock?
No. Now, hang on. Tom Cruise and David Beckham were making their ways way before.
They're an example. They're mega stars. You don't need to Google them. You'll instantly know who they are.
But they've been going for years now, to be fair.
Okay. The Rock, John Cena, Stone Cold. Do you need to Google any of those? No.
They've also been going for years. So if you want to say like I don't know, Damian Priest. If you're not a wrestling fan, you're not going to have a clue who he is.
Yeah,
if you're a wrestling fan, you know who he is.
Yeah.
So if you're a wrestling fan, you know who MJF is. You might not like AEW. You might not like AEW. You might not like the product that they put out, but you'll know
true.
MJF.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, then we're coming to close to 3 hours, so we'll finish it up here. This has gone longer than you wanted to do, but we had a good chat, so why not?
The longer the fun, the longer the fun.
So, yeah, thanks to Ryan for joining me, and I'll see you at a show soon, hopefully as early as next month.
Thanks,
Ryan.
Nice
Jan, Haskell Bank Show, tag team titles, coming home, baby. This is where the gold starts.
And people have to stand with the brand.
Yes.
So I'll put you backstage for now, just for a second, and then. So yeah, thank you for joining me. So like let's say, coming up to 3 hours. So we'll do this again next week. So Ian, have you got any final words?
No, but I won't be able to stay in the background. I got to take care of some stuff. So talk to you.
Yeah, then. And I have come up with a. Hang on. I have come up with a catchphrase, and that is, remember to acknowledge.